Yeah, get it on. Got to get on the Just Get on mandate. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Great to have crowd favorite Teresa Strasser back in studio. And, of course, comedian Dean Delray as well. Chris Maxpaz is going to do some news. Hey. What's going on?
I'm so happy to see you.
Really, picked quite a day.
Is this a special day?
No. What I had to do 2 shows in Solana Beach last night. And so I drove out, did the 2 shows, turned around and drove home. Got home about 1. And at about 3 a.m., sheriff's pounding on the door.
What?
Yeah, alarm from inside the house went off, even though alarm was not set or touched, or I heard nothing and did nothing, but it was bang, bang, bang on the door at 3 in the morning.
Adam, something I've always admired about you is that you do not have insomnia. This is one of your most Gentile qualities. You do not worry. For example, we were just talking about Danny Bonaduce. He's in the news.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of your fans have been with you a long time, but there was a very stressful day wherein Danny Bonaduce was your co-host, and nothing personal, but you were ready to be without him.
Yes.
And the higher-ups didn't approve of that, and it was very stressful, and people were trying to reach you. And I believe Jimmy Kimmel went to your home.
Yes.
And you were taking a nap.
Yes.
And I've never forgotten that, because I can't sleep if, like, my pillow's a little bit wrong, or if my kid has a Little League game the next day and I'm concerned, and you were just taking a nap in the middle of this huge firestorm.
Yes. Well, I don't know how other people process things, but my thing was I was clear that I was not going to do another year with Danny Bonaduce as my co-host, and I was super clear with them. I went out to lunch at the Ivy. That's how clear we were.
You don't mess around when it's Ivy time.
Chicken, Ivy, clear with these people. And
they have fried chicken at the Ivy?
That's what they're known for.
Okay.
And they said...
I can tell I've never been there.
Yeah, you are not a Kardashian.
Nope.
And I said, so that's where I stand. Otherwise, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, you had the red flu. Do you remember that?
That's right.
What was the heat on that? You just done with him?
I was like, you know what I said to Danny that made him feel good? I basically said, there's nothing wrong with your broadcasting. It's a band, and we have 2 lead guitarists, and I need a rhythm guitarist.
Oh, stomping on each other.
But like I
Dual
fit in.
host.
But I played the triangle, so I was fine.
That's right. You were like Tracy in the Partridge Family.
Thank you. But I was always impressed that was how you processed it, because I might be making that, but I think I remember that Jimmy Kimmel was really trying to reach you, and you wouldn't answer the phone because you were sleeping, and he went to your home.
Well, yes, that's true. And so what happened was I said I'm not doing another season, another year with Danny Bonaduce, and then we had an agreement, and then they went and signed him for another year.
Wow.
And so I did not call them and protest. I just didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I've always found the most effective way to negotiate is not to call and scream at people, just simply don't show up. Just nap. So we had an end of the year live show from like Senior Pepe's in Long Beach or something.
I'll never forget that. Thanks, Adam.
And I never showed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was just an event that's, Adam Carolla show, and the fans are going to come out, and they're going to meet and greet, and you're going to see Adam Carolla do a live show at a bar in front of everybody. And I didn't show up. Now, I didn't...
No call either.
No phone calls, no discussions. I just didn't show up, and probably went to bed while the show was still being taped that night. Slept like a baby. And then the following day, my agent started calling me.
Baby doll.
Yeah. And then Jimmy started calling me.
Yep.
And I was like, if I pick up the phone and talk to them, so I know how baby doll works. If I pick up the phone and go, this is bullshit, I can't believe it, then he'd go, don't worry, baby, we're going to smooth this out. I'll handle it. We're going to work it. And then he would hang up with me, and then he would call them. And then he would go, I spoke to Adam.
Yeah.
He's calmed down. I think we got something.
Yeah.
I think we can make this work. We'll smooth it over. Don't worry. He's a businessman. He's got kids. He'll come around. I can get him. I didn't want him to tell them that. And I didn't want Jimmy to tell them that.
Was Jimmy like the producer or something?
Yes, yes.
Gotcha.
Although I don't know if you remember
So-
this, but you had a nickname for him. He was the consultant. So after the show, we would have a meeting. Was it? It might. I think it was yours. The insultant.
Yes.
That's when you have a lot of notes.
Yeah, it's a little more of an insultant than a consultant. He would tell me all the shit he didn't like.
But he did come up with and name Who the F Sells This S, which is a great
Oh,
bit.
is that his?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know
Great
that.
name for a great bit.
So then at some point when Baby Doll was calling and Kayla's ex was calling and Jimmy was calling and I never picked up the phone. And then at some point there was like a ring at the gate. Oh. And I was like, who's outside? And I like opened the gate and Jimmy was just standing there.
Wait, did he have a boombox? Like say anything?
Yes. He was standing there playing a Peter Gabriel song.
I love you.
So he was, and he lived at the time down the street. So he just walked over.
Hilarious.
He was just standing there. And I was like, what's up? And he's like, why don't you pick up your fucking phone? And I said, I don't want them to think that I'm negotiating or even playing ball. I want them panicking, going, where the fuck is this guy? So they can call all they want. I'm not picking up the phone. And then Jimmy goes, they won't stop calling me. Now pick up your fucking phone because my phone won't stop ringing. And I was like, all right. And then that was it. That's why he came to my home. But I was more relaxed in that time period than anybody.
I remember
How did
there
it
was
end, though?
Well, you got your way.
Yeah,
he
they
was
got
out of
rid
there.
of the
Well,
dude.
good news and bad news because then you called me, which I've thought about this. Like in the movie of my life, you are a very big character.
I have no recollection of this phone call, but go ahead.
That's why I know because I'm not an extra in your life, but I'm like an under 5. You know, I'm there.
Look at
but-
Taft-Hartley you in.
Taft-Hartley me in, exactly. And like, I'll get a small dressing room, but I
You'll share a dressing room that's medium size.
Yeah, I'll get half a sandwich from the extras table of craft services.
No honey wagon.
No honey wagon for me, but you called, and I remember I was so nervous. It was the Christmas break when all the shit always went down, and I saw your number on my phone, and like my heart was racing. It was like, oh, I'm very comfortable talking to you on the mic, but obviously off is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I answered the phone, and then you said, you can do what Danny did. I just need you to talk more. You are there. You just need reps, and you can be my Robin.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, I worship Robin Quivers. She's amazing. She's the best. So that really meant a lot to me for you to say that I should talk more when most people think I should speak less, probably right now.
You know what's funny is like Danny played bass in the Partridge Family. And then, you know, he probably always wanted to be Keith Partridge. And that's going on with his whole life now.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be the lead singer.
Yeah,
You
he
know?
always wanted to be David Cassidy.
I do find him very entertaining, and he was always nice to me, and like I have warm feelings about him. But that night when we did that show where showed,
Yeah.
I mean, I was on stage alone with Danny Bonaduce,
I know.
and
I'm
what I
sorry.
realized you owe me. You better sell some books for me today, Adam.
And when Teresa says she was alone, she was really alone. Dana Gould was on the show, but Dana Gould's face was in a state of perpetual confusion.
Yes, imagine you're Dana Gould and you've driven to wherever, Torrance, wherever we were.
I think we were in Commerce.
TGI Fridays.
It was like Senior Frogs or Senior Peppies or one
yes.
of those spring breaky places.
They definitely
What are
sell
those
T-shirts.
Sizzling, fucking, what are those?
Fajitas?
Yeah, fajita places.
There are probably a lot of fajitas going
Yeah,
around.
and you can like order a Bahama Mama. But
Yeah.
I just remember doing the news, and I was only used to you, Adam, and like there's nothing that you can't talk about. So I'd never in 5 years done a news story and been met with like a few beats of awkward silence. And I remember thinking, like, how do I adjust to this? Because I'm live on stage in front of a bunch of people at Senor Pepe's, and I did a story, and then it's just crickets. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to just keep moving to the next story because he doesn't have thoughts about everything.
Yeah, it's burned right through all of them.
Yeah,
In
well,
14 seconds, I was done.
all I remember from that era is staying home, realizing no communication would be the most effective way to make my point. there's a picture of you two on stage.
Oh, that's from that show.
Oh, that's when he was like roid guy at the time, right?
So
He's working hard.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at the door.
Tank top. I love the tank top and the belt buckle. It's just like
yeah.
looks like an outtake from Cabo Wabo, like Sammy Hagar's gonna pop out.
It was. I knew not saying anything would be a good thing. I remember distinctly like going to bed at like 9:30 at night and not thinking about it at all like the next day. And also I have an edict or a sort of creed in life, which is ultimately when things go away, I'm relieved.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so I don't have to get up at 5 in the morning anymore. If that's what this turns out to be.
Has anything ever kept you up at night? Like you wake up at 3 and you're upset or you're nervous or you have an agita or psoas, as my people say?
Not really, although I was thinking last night about having an anxiety attack, which I had in Florida about 5 years ago, and going, oh, this is what that feels like an anxiety feels like.
What precipitated this?
I had been traveling all night, like red eye. I don't even remember. It was like leave LAX at midnight, go to Florida, travel all night, drink on the plane, land in Florida, 8 in the morning. I had to like drive 3 hours or something. I had some TV series, some live TV series that was coming out the following week that there was a lot of discussions and stuff. And I got to my hotel room at like 11 in the morning and I had not slept that night. And I was just standing in my hotel room and I was like, you got to take a nap, man. Cause then I had shit to do that day, and I just like laid down in the bed and I just started having anxiety. Like I couldn't sleep. I had anxiety and I was thinking, oh, this is what everyone else is talking about. This is this thing.
Must be it, yeah.
I
Those are
should be more
crazy.
sympathetic when I'm telling everyone to rub some dirt on it and walk it off and get the fucking over themselves.
Wait,
'Cause
didn't
this
you
is how
just-
they feel.
I rubbed some Xanax on it.
I don't have things because I never
'Cause
have that
right.
feeling,
Yeah.
Yes, I would have. If I had a glass of scotch and a Xanax or something, it would have worked out. But it's just 11 in the morning. I'm just sitting in a hotel room, not being able to sleep, having that feeling.
Those
And
are
you
the
haven't
worst,
had that
man.
since or before?
No, not before or since. But I was like, oh, when Drew had an anxiety attack a million years ago, that must have been horrible.
You had a front row seat for that one?
Oh yeah, Drew had a major anxiety attack on the set of MTV's Loveline.
Oh man, I had one jogging.
Really?
Yeah,
How do you have one jogging?
Wait a
Well,
second.
I drank Diet Coke for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I met this lady. I was DJing at a club, and she came up and she's like, I seen you drink like 5 Diet Cokes. I was like, yeah, so what, lady? And she goes, I worked at Diet Coke, and we wear hazmat suits to make that shit. Just Google that. So I went home, Googled it, and I was like, oh, fuck, man. I got to quit this shit. So I just quit it cold turkey. And then the next day I was out jogging. My body just did like a detox from that shit that's in it. It's all chemicals. There's not one real thing in it. I was just jogging through my neighborhood and I just did the Martin Lawrence, fell over on someone's lawn.
Wow.
And I started knocking on the door, help, because it feels like you're having a heart attack. You're like, I can't breathe. And they called the ambulance and
Really?
ran me down to some fucking place over here in Burbank, like one of those,
Urgent care?
Yeah, urgent care.
How
They
many
put all
Diet
the
Cokes?
stickers. I'd drink about 10 a day.
Whoa.
Wow.
Easily. Just if I didn't have any Diet Coke at home, I was coming home, from something, I would turn around and go get it and just have it in the fridge.
Yeah.
It was just awful.
We have a Diet Coke addict here. Ben, how many do you drink a day?
I want to say 3, but it's probably closer to 4 or 5.
Oh, no, I did 10, and always the 16-ounce plastic bottle one. They'd be in my bag.
I think the difference between your situation and the Martin Lawrence situation is when Martin Lawrence collapsed jogging, people went, Martin Lawrence collapsed jogging. And when you collapse, people are like, there's a homeless dude on our lawn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I was knocking on the door. I could see the guy looking out like, nah.
No one went, comedian Gene Delray.
Jehovah Witness out there, man. He's on the lawn. It was just rough, man. I was like, help. And then he finally opened the door, you know, and I was like, dude, I'm having a heart attack. And he goes, you're too young. That's what he said. You're too young, you know?
Well, he was right.
Yeah,
I mean, you weren't having a heart attack.
I was like, just call an ambulance. You know, you're too young. He's like rating it. Nah, something else. You know, let's figure it out.
Let me WebMD this real quick.
Oh, my God. It was a nightmare.
Well,
and then I quit
was that a physiological withdrawal?
It's a full detox.
Okay.
Because it's got, what's that? That sweetener.
Aspartame?
And man, your body, when you quit that shit, I quit all kinds of drugs. When you quit that, it's insane. I remember I went to the doctor and he goes, yeah, you're going to have hell for about 2 weeks. And he was right.
Really?
I was like, where's the 60-minute story on this shit?
Yeah, because when you just said you've quit other things, was this harder and what did you quit?
I quit all drugs, but this was hard because of how I felt. It was like the aspartame coming off of it. It was just like, this is gnarly, like bad headache and then body shakes and shit. It was crazy.
I do tell people not to drink all the diet drinks. Nobody ever listens to me. In our world, it's like, look, if it doesn't have calories, then who cares? I'll do as much as I want. And I'm like, it's just a weird compote of chemicals that you're putting in your body like all day during the working hours, by the way. Like, how about you knock it off? And everyone's like, no, like that Coke. Like, what's I
know. Every time, like the last year, I was addicted to Topo Chico. Just drink it all day. And then they're like, this has some fucking PBC or whatever it is. Do not drink this. And I'm like, God damn, I can't drink anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty much left with water. Are you sober? Do you not drink alcohol?
Well, I had diabetes, and I don't, mess with sugar at all.
Oh, really?
I got rid of the diabetes, but man, you're trying to find shit to drink, and anytime it tastes good, you're like, this ain't good for you.
No.
It's just no way.
The Topo Chico's not good for you.
It's just
That's
water.
just carbonated water.
That's all it is. But they have some high, I forget if somebody can Google the highest level of this bad shit in it out of all of the bottled waters.
You sound like a scientist now.
Yeah. It has high levels of bad shit.
Yeah.
It was like 10 when everybody else was 1.
I was referring to this graph I made of yarn. And gum. Oh shit, it fell off.
Highest level of bad shit. When you're young, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
I'll have bad shit. I can absorb it. Can I just say congratulations to Chris Loxamon on his new baby? I know you've probably talked about it.
We have.
But he has a month-old little baby, and it's very exciting. By the way, I remember, speaking of the olden times, when your twins were born, and you took off a day. 2 days.
We're trying to figure out how many days
I think it was 2 because Jimmy Kimmel came in and
I think I have. I
remember Joe Rogan being there, and I remember Jimmy being there as well. But yes, I never got taking a lot of days off unless I'm quitting because Bonaduce's there, and then
you'll just take a nice nap.
Yeah, I did. I remember a very famous conversation that I had with James Baby Doll Dixon, my agent, which is he was calling me and he was going, just ignore him. Just ignore Danny. Just show up, do your job, and ignore him. And I said, okay, we're doing 4 hours of radio a day. He's sitting 4 feet from me and he's yelling into a microphone. What do you mean, just ignore him? He's like, baby, just ignore him. Like, first off, you couldn't get into the studio because at 5:51 a.m., Danny was on a chin-up bar that was in the studio door wearing cowboy boots, no shirt, smelling of Marlboro Reds and Axe, and doing chin-ups. So you weren't going to ignore Danny Bonaduce. He's unignorable. But my all Baby Doll wanted was the checks to keep coming in. He lives on the East Coast. He didn't care about creative differences or anything.
He doesn't have to be in there.
Just
with the
fucking
axe.
show up and ignore him. And I said, okay, so listen, James. What if I just let a full-grown macaw parrot loose in your house? Just a full-grown. It's in the house. And I said to you, just ignore it.
Yeah.
Just fucking, when you open your shower curtain and it's there, wings flapping and shit, or you open the closet and it's there, or you go down the kitchen at night to get a snack and the macaw, you turn the light on, the macaw. Just ignore it.
It's
There's a
doing
little
pull-ups.
macaw loose in your house, and you just ignore the macaw and you just go about your business. I said, could you do that? If the answer is no, well, then I can't ignore Bonaduce in a studio when we're doing 4 hours of radio 5 days a week.
A lot of bands do that. They hate each other and they have separate buses and they just go on the stage and then they go off the
They
stage.
only
But
see
that's
each other on
different. It's
stage,
just
yeah.
loud music and you don't have to hear the person. And then you look at it, like if you look at that Journey situation where Neil Sean and Jonathan Cain hate each other and suing each other right now. But they're on stage every night in an arena, and they're on the other sides of each other. So he's over there who's crying? Fuck you! He's doing drive-by fuck yous.
Sure.
Fuck you!
Yeah, I suppose you can do that in a band, but
course,
you can't
it's
do
different.
it with a
Not in
conversation.
here, man.
Not in here. So now, anyway, then Danny went off. Danny finished out the year doing afternoons at the station. And then the format got flipped, and then everyone was out of a job. And then he went off to Seattle.
Right.
And then he's doing radio in Seattle, and then had a horrible affliction, disease. Now it's hydrocephalopathy or whatever, water on the brain.
Hydrocephalus.
Yeah, he's got that right now, right? They're going to do a surgery
And now he's
on him?
got to get brain surgery.
He met with over 100 doctors. It's been
neurological
How come
diagnoses.
they can't figure shit out?
They don't know with the brain. It's very difficult to diagnose Parkinson's and other things because there is a whole host of symptoms which are similar. But I will say about Danny, I have this great memory of him. For some reason, I had to go to his home. He lived where you'd expect him to live on Hollywood Boulevard.
Wow.
Right where people are dressed up as Spider-Man and Marilyn Monroe. And
Yes.
I'd never been in someone's house that had a home gym. And he had a huge gym in this big old, and everything was made out of skulls. You know what I mean?
I love Skull Guys.
He just shops at Chrome Hearts.
Yeah.
And so then we were outside of his home on Hollywood Boulevard, and a tour bus drove up, and it was one of those double-decker ones where everyone's out. And Danny at that time was on Breaking Bonaduce, a big hit reality show, so he was at a high level of fame, and he's unmistakable with his tattoos and red hair. And the bus pulls up, and it's packed, and he goes, "Hey,
It's
have
me.
you guys seen any celebrities?" And he just he made them so happy. I appreciate that about him.
Come
It
on,
made
get
him
happy.
happy. Come
Yeah.
on, it made him happy.
Come
He's
on,
like,
get
me.
happy.
It's me.
And he does love buses because I saw the Partridge Family.
Yeah.
I was thinking about him the other day in that when we did a show at the Playboy Mansion, they had the red carpet thing with the step and repeat, and brought the paparazzi out or something, and they were trying to do this nighttime show at the Playboy Mansion to drum up, I don't know, for the sponsors, enthusiasm, whatever. I pulled up to the front. We're doing the show at 8. I think Hugh Hefner was a guest, guest, whatever.
Yeah, he was there.
And I was like, the show starts in 15 minutes, so I'm just going to walk around the back way and not go through the step and repeat with all the lights and the cameras and everything. And they're like, the KLSX guys got me, and they're like, you got to walk through the thing. And I'm like, I want to go prep and go around. I don't want to deal with this. And they're like, Danny walked through it twice already. I was like, he walked through it, circled around, and went back through it again.
Wow.
Now it's weird that those two people would be, those two,
Yes.
my mindset and his mindset would be locked in a room for 4 hours
Right.
a day. And that's probably why I'm wired much differently than Danny is. But I always liked him.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
And I always thought he was a good broadcaster,
Yeah,
too. And I was just like, you got to go do your show somewhere.
He was great on Partridge Family too. He just had the great lines. You know, it's funny. I was just talking
this
about
is us with Hugh
Yeah,
Hefner
on
at the
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just talking about the Partridge Family yesterday on my podcast because Bill and I went to the Brady Bunch house last week because it's up for sale, $5.5 million.
Yeah.
Do we know who Bill is?
Bill Burr. So Bill and I went down there, and I was talking
There are
about
a lot of guys named Bill. That's the only reason I'm saying.
Well, I didn't know if they
He didn't know anything about
prepped it up.
they didn't
that I was-
prep me. They didn't prep me enough. But you and Bill
if
Burr.
the audience doesn't know, you opened for Bill Burr.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we know.
Now we know.
Now we know.
But
Right.
we went to the house, and I was thinking about, there it is right there. So-
Yeah, back up for sale.
Yeah, 5.5 million. So my point is, it's weird to think when I was growing up, it didn't matter who you were. You could be like a stoner or a churchgoer or whatever. Everybody watched Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family. And they were so straight and clean, these shows, but you just loved them. It's bizarre, right?
Yeah. I was telling my friend Bill the other day about the Partridge Family.
Are you in AA?
Cosby.
Oh, I thought you were in AA.
Oh yeah, friend Bill and Dr. Bob.
Yeah, somebody said, "Are you friends with Bill at the store one night?" I go, "Yeah, I'm out on a tour with him." And they go, "No, I mean, are you in the program?" I go, "What the fuck is that? Are you friends
It's
with
too common a name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you guys. That's you.
Yeah, and then that's
Bill Burr.
Vivian Yoon. She's a fantastic real estate agent.
And,
but,
and you're at the Partridge Family. How big
that's
is
the Brady Bunch
Sorry, the
house.
Brady Bunch house. How big is the Brady Bunch house?
Okay, here's the story. So it was just, they only used the front for the show, and then everything else was a set.
Right.
So the house was 2,000 square feet. Original family lived in it 60 years, and they put it up for sale. It was a piece of shit inside. Then HGTV and Lance Bass from NSYNC started battling over it. They both wanted it. HGTV bought it for 3.5, and then they hired this crew and then got the Brady Bunch, and they made it 4,000 square feet and exactly the same as the TV show. And it is fucking wild. You got to go in there, man. It is huge. It's beautiful, and it's blow your mind because you're in there going like, this is the goddamn show. You're walking around, it's like Marsha, and don't throw the ball in the house. You're just hearing all the shit in there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Mom said not to throw the ball in the house.
Right.
It's
See, we
the
all know
line.
it. It's
I know.
crazy.
It's so bizarre.
They
But
have the same ovens for the souffles.
a lot of souffle humor back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yeah. Oh, and this is the crazy thing. That was the first show where husband and wife slept in the same bed.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know this, but you could not show a bathroom on TV in '69, which is wild. No bathrooms.
They had the Jack and the Jill upstairs.
They had the Jack and
And
the
there
Jill.
was an episode or something where like Marsha locked herself in the bathroom, but they would never show a toilet
Nope,
or
no
anything.
toilet.
You could see like the sink. They had
Yeah.
rules. I think they grandfathered in, they let them sleep in the same bed because Mike Brady was actually gay.
Wow.
So they were like,
yeah, they
you know
know
what?
it.
I was wondering about
Yeah,
that because
and then-
the house is so beautiful. He probably decorated.
He was
it.
an architect,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was.
Architect was the safest job a guy could have in a TV sitcom. And the reason they would go, a lot of guys were architects. The reason they went with architect was no baggage. You know, if you're a cop,
Yeah.
Right.
and or a nurse or something, you have to get into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Architect,
It's just
and
blah.
the thing about architect is nobody can say. See, when you're a school teacher and a cop, you go, how the fuck can you afford this house
Yeah.
in Encino on a cop's salary? But if you're an architect, nobody knows how much you make.
Yeah,
You
I
could
know.
make $40,000 a year. You could make $10 million
Yeah,
a year.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
nobody asks
I
questions.
think there's a big range. There's
Huge.
probably
There's
some like
bigger
Yeah.
than cop, garbage
Yeah.
man, school teacher. The range in architect
Yeah.
is infinite, and so you can't call it into question. So when they're going, we're going to go to the Grand Canyon, I can't go on an architect's salary.
Yeah, because you don't know. Like, also, I was thinking at this age now, I'm like, did he? You know, they're in L.A. Did he hang out with Neutra? Was he Frank Lloyd Wright's buddy? You know, like, I had questions.
He didn't talk about a lot of, unless they needed an episode where it's like, all right, Greg, these blueprints are very important.
Magic Mountain, Six Flags.
I need you to take them and have them, you know, bonderized and bring them straight home. And he's like, well, maybe I'll stop at the park on the way there. We always knew trouble.
Yeah, Six Flags.
Yeah, you knew the only time he brought up architecture is if there was some business to get somebody into trouble.
Yeah.
But he had to be a famous enough architect or successful enough architect because they would do all that stunt casting. It's like at some point when Greg was going out for the football team, it's like Joe Namath.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Namath's just standing in their yard. Yeah. Like, this guy's a mid-level architect working in the San Fernando Valley.
This is not I Am Pay.
He's calling up Davy Jones to play the prom. He's got Broadway
Hawaii.
Joe on the fucking call. Hey, Joey, the Jets are in town this week. I need to take in practice early. Swing on by the house.
Yeah.
Stand on some fake lawn. I want you to tell Greg how to throw a spiral. And no one would ever ask, like, the fuck do you know Joe Namath? He was just standing there. Astronauts, Rosie Greer. Look, they're all just hanging out in the yard going, I'll throw it. So he had to be a prominent enough architect to have these kinds of connections into the Hollywood world.
Yeah, he built their houses, I guess. You know,
That's
what it was.
When he needs an additional room built, he's going to call Mr. Brady.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you what, Adam, it is crazy in there because, you know, you forget, like, Alice lived there.
Yeah.
So they're rich as shit. They got a maid that lives there. Yeah.
I love, all right, I'll tell you what, we got to take a quick break.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to do a lot more Brady talk right after this. Let me tell you about Turo. Innovative. It's the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. With Turo, you can book any car you want, wherever you want, from a community of local hosts. Browse a huge selection of vehicles for just about any occasion or budget. Book an SUV or a minivan for a family road trip, a pickup truck for some errands, or even test drive an EV. Every trip is backed by liability insurance. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Find your drive. Forget your boring rental cars at Turo. Turo.com. Just Thrive. Oh, man. You've got so much stress. Don't you just want to hit the pause button and just breathe? Just Calm from Just Thrive can help. Just Calm's all-natural blend of mood-lifting, psychobiotics, and brain-nourishing B vitamins helps you take back control and feel your most cool, calm, and collected. I take mine every day. Multiple studies prove it works quickly to soothe everyday stress and sharpen focus in as little as 4 weeks. Or try Just Thrive Probiotic, a spore probiotic that banishes gas and bloat and helps your gut produce serotonin, and that's the happy hormone. Plus, it supports better sleep. Once you get onto this, you won't get off. I had dinner with the owners, the founders, and I had Tina on the show, and it's a real product. They're hugely invested in it, and it works. I take it. You take it too. Am I right, Dawson?
With Just Calm and Just Thrive Probiotic, you'll have the ultimate stress-fighting duo to help you feel cool, collected, and in control. Get 20% off your first 90-day bottle of Just Calm and Just Thrive Probiotic today. Visit JustThriveHealth.com and use promo code Adam.
Viator. Experiences are what people love most about travel. I mean, God, taking my son fishing in Alaska, that was so amazing. I'll never forget it. Viator. It's a website and app for booking travel experiences like seeing Stonehenge or a walking tour of Rome. Over 300,000 bookable experiences in 190 countries. Millions of real travelers' reviews. So you have the information you need to book the best activities for your trip. With Viator, There's always flexibility and support with free cancellation, payment options, and 24/7 service. So let's get out there and experience life, shall we? Download the Viator app now and use the code Viator10. Get 10% off your first booking. One app, over 300,000 experiences you'll never forget. Do more with Viator. Teresa Strasser in as well.
Yeah.
Back to hot Brady talk. I love, so my family was total dysfunction. Everything was a mess. We lived in a garbage heap. Nobody did anything for anybody. And my mom was like a disheveled, kind of like broken down, aesthetic mess. The house was a mess. Everything was a fucking shit show. It was poor, but not proud. It was just poor and everything was dirty and a mess. And
same here.
You just sit in front of the TV and like eat spaghetti out of a bowl with your hands, you know, and there was no dinner time.
Oh,
There's no anything. And
There's
so
no family.
the Bradys, my thought on the Brady Bunch was, first off, Alice called them Mr. and Mrs. Brady, which I respected. You know what I mean? That she's still keeping this kind of protocol in place, even on a Wednesday night, you know?
Yeah.
And I like that. I also like that Bob and it was Carol, right? Carol,
Yeah,
and
Carol,
Mike and Carol would like sit there and she'd be pouring them coffee at night while they just sat in that sort of meeting room they had. She'd be doing needlepoint. I liked the fact, I was amazed. The thing that amazed me the most are the little things. Like every once in a while there'd be an episode where like Tiger would catch a skunk or something in the middle of the night and everyone would come downstairs. They'd be awakened in the middle of the night, and they'd all come downstairs and meet in the living room, the whole family. Like, what's going on, Alice? What's that? I don't know. The part that blew me away, everyone had their own bathrobe.
Yeah.
And slippers and pajamas. They had full outfits for sleeping. Like I slept in someone else's underpants. And they were on backwards with like both legs going through the same leg hole. Like I slept my tidy whities. Like everyone, my family just slept in like t-shirts and sweatpants and stuff. Nobody owned a bathrobe.
Yeah.
A bathrobe was considered like a luxury high ticket. That's a high dollar
That's
item.
a hotel thing, man.
A hotel thing, and we didn't go to hotels. Like the fact that every one of these kids had their own bathrobe and they were all wearing slippers. Like they're already wearing a long sleeve pajamas.
Yeah.
Then they got up and they're like, I got to get dressed before I head downstairs at 3 a.m. Like you're already
Tiger
dressed.
hit by a skunk.
Right. And they got put the slippers and the robe and they'd all come downstairs and everyone had their own slippers and robe.
It would blow my mind when I went to a friend's house and they had napkins, like paper napkins. Like your mom bought those.
The reason Daniel Kellison from the Man Show is called Danny Two Sheets is when I was 35. I don't know what fucking year this was. 36. He came out from New York he's going to stay with me. We're starting up the Man Show. And he was going to come out, and I was like living in the Hollywood Hills, 1923 Hollywood land.
Yeah.
Dean.
Excellent.
Third house built up there. French Normandy. I completely renovated the place myself.
Oh, I love it up
Slate
there.
roof. Amazing place. But anyway, I was just living alone up there. And I said to Daniel, like, he's like, can I hang out? Can I like crash on your sofa or your sofa bed or whatever for like 2 weeks before I find a place and get settled out from New York? I said, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Comes out, I pull out the sofa bed, set him up, put the blankets down, and it's like the end of the night. And I'm like, I got your bed set up there, Daniel, and I'm going up to my bedroom. And I go up the bedroom, started to go to bed, and it's like knock on the door. And I'm like, open the door, and it's Daniel standing there. And he goes, where's the sheet for the bed? And I go, what do you mean, where's the sheet for the bed? I put the sheet on the bed when I made it. It's fitted. It's there.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, the other sheet. And I go, what do you mean another sheet?
Yeah.
Because the top sheet. Because the top sheet? Who uses 2 sheets? I didn't have 1 sheet when I was growing up. I just slept on a fucking mattress, maybe lay a beach towel down.
Yeah.
No, you need the upper sheet.
You need the
you
other
got a
sheet.
blanket and you have a fitted sheet.
Makes no sense. It's
And
too
he's
much.
like, come on, that's too much sheet. I don't have that kind of sheet over here.
Yeah.
You just got a blanket. Your blanket. That's your blanket. That's your sheet. It's your blanket. He's like, he's going,
Wow.
everyone does 2 sheets. I go, get the fuck out of here. Nobody does 2 sheets. Then
sheets.
we
And this
go.
is a couch bed, you fucking dummy.
Yes.
You know, like you're lucky to have a blanket.
But
Listen.
I go, so I start calling. So we go into the office like the next day, and I'm calling him Danny Two Sheets, right?
Yeah.
And and I'm going, but this is my horrible childhood. I'm going,
Yes.
This guy, everyone, listen. This guy uses 2 sheets. Okay, 2. Like he thinks he's the fucking Prince of Siam.
Yeah.
I go, it's 2 sheets. And everyone goes, yeah, I use 2 sheets too. And I'm like, you use 2 sheets? Yeah, there's the upper sheet and the lower sheet. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this a real thing? I was
my God.
36 years
Yeah.
old. I didn't even know it was a thing to have a second sheet. That's the family I come from.
Yes, I can relate, and I do. I've written a book which touches on this, Making It Home. See how I wedge that in, Chris?
Nice.
I learned table manners from movies.
Yes.
Like there was no. My mom would have taco night, and she would just put bowls of food in our hallway. We had a cat and a lot of fleas. Like San Francisco houses had fleas. So there was fleas jumping around the carpet and cats. And then she would put the bowls down on newspaper, like she was feeding one of the cats. And this is how you would get. There's a scene in
You
my
didn't have a table?
We had a table, but I don't. When she did tacos, maybe all the bowls of items wouldn't fit on the table, or the table might have had the dishes from a previous meal, and you would have to clear them.
yeah.
But so when my parents got divorced, I was 3, my brother was 5, and they divided us. So my dad took my brother, and my mom took me. It was a very unorthodox custody situation, and I flew back and forth by myself. Not legal now, but from age 3, and at one point,
Wait, Bay Area to L.A.?
Yep.
Okay.
It was PSA, an airline that's not around. Then when I got older, where it cost more than $12, they put me on the Greyhound through the prison belt of Central California. But at one point, my dad was returning me to my mom, and when I got off the airplane, this is true, I had chicken pox and lice.
Wow.
Yes,
man.
but my
And
dad
herpes.
had not, and herpes, which was crazy. And
It's
my dad
weird.
hadn't noticed that holy trinity of infectious diseases.
It's so weird when you grow up poor, when you learn stuff. You know, like even like last year, I was at a guy's house staying in New York, and I put the toilet paper on, and he's like, "Who does this?" You know, the flap was going against the wall.
Yeah.
You know, that way. I was like, I just fucking put it in the thing and used the toilet paper. He's like, it's got to go over the front.
Is this Daniel Callison?
No,
is
it's
this?
my buddy
People are
Marcus
really-
Price.
Yeah,
He
some
took
people
a
are really adamant
picture.
about this,
I
yeah.
didn't know. So you
I didn't know that either.
I know you learn shit over the years when you grow up poor. And also, there's no press release when shit changes. Like, I'm like, yeah, the stewardess came out. Oh, no, it's
no,
flight
flight
attendant.
attendant, yeah.
When it changes, nobody tells you. There's not like, and then one day you're just the asshole.
Yeah, you get
know? You're like,
chastised
what the
for it.
fuck? I don't know.
Well, here's the big question then. And I was just talking about this with Dr. Drew. Ben, you got to find the Jimmy Johnson Go Get Some Asthma tape that we played the other week. But so when you grow up how we grew up,
Yeah.
and then you have people like doing shit where they're like, no, we're going to get an Uber town car and we're going out tonight. I'm like, just fucking hitchhike to the restaurant
Yeah.
or whatever it is, or catch a ride, or like your friend's meeting you there. Yeah, well, have her come by and pick you up, and then you can go over and like, no, we're just gonna take the town car. We're gonna take the limo or whatever. I'm like, I walk around just going, you can't, don't do that. My kids, here's a real simple one. The amount of times when I was a kid that I got my hands on a milkshake would have been like once every 41 months.
Yeah.
Like a milkshake was expensive. It was a treat. You had to go somewhere to get it. Someone had to love you to buy it for you. And if there was a milkshake, it was very few and far between. And I'll see my kids with a smoothie or something that they got from Robux. They spent $11 on 2 sips off the top. Sitting on the counter, sweating out somewhere. At some point, I'm like, put it in the fridge. You know, we're done. I'm done with it. And I've said to him, like, did you want the smoothie or not? Because you got a smoothie, but you didn't drink it. And here's the response. And I've gotten it from many people in my life. I just wanted the 1 sip.
Oh,
and I'm like,
the $11 sip.
Yeah, you cannot. You throw this shit away. This is liquid gold.
Yeah.
The notion of not finishing a Dr. Pepper when I was 9, or not finishing a fucking beer, low and brow later on in life, or ordering a smoothie or milkshake and taking the first 7/8 off the top and then just sort of leaving it like, we're going now. Like, what? You're going? Take your milkshake.
Yeah.
Well, I'm done with it. It's nonsensical. Like, I can't wrap my mind. It's like I'm trying to hunt a serial killer, and I'm going, there's no clues. Although this is worse. This is worse. I
People
understand
do that all
serial
the
killer.
time. Like when they come over to your house, hey, you got a water? Yeah, and you give them like a fucking water, and then they take 2 sips and leave it there. And I'm like, you didn't want any water. Now this is wasted. I'm not drinking off your water.
Coming from where we come from, it's incomprehensible.
Oh, yeah.
I'll pick shit out of my own garbage because my daughter and her friends will like order sandwiches from Grubhub or something, eat half the sandwich, and then just go, yeah, we're done, and shut the lid on the thing, and it goes in the garbage. I'm fishing it out of the garbage. I'm nervous. I was like, your friends came over? Yeah. Did you guys eat? Yeah, we had lunch. Okay, I got to go to the garbage now. I got to go like a fucking raccoon.
Yeah.
Like a millionaire raccoon.
Yes,
I have to now claw through millionaire raccoon.
That's your next book.
I have to claw through my garbage because you guys threw away half a turkey sandwich.
That's a great band name.
Millionaire Raccoon. Well, when I walked in the door to your studio, I was eating an apple, which I had taken yesterday from the hotel because they have the apples in the lobby.
It's free.
I can't walk by that.
You'll be allergic to apples. It's free. That's the point.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. I grew up like poor too, so you got the free lunch at school. So they had this pastrami sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know. I'm sure.
Where'd you go to school?
Up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
So I'm
Wait,
sure
where are
it
you
wasn't the Bay Area. So I'm
What town?
We're in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
What town? I'm from
The
San
Bay
Francisco.
Area.
Yeah, the Bay Area.
There's a lot of towns there. You got your
He's with
Hayward,
Bill in the
your
Bay Area. Come
Bill,
on.
Oh, yeah, Bill in the Bay Area.
What's with all the questions?
Bay Area Bill. Fuck you. No. So when
We
you
still don't know.
We don't know where
Are you
in the
trying
Bay
to
Area.
hide this from us?
No,
said the Bay Area.
Petaluma, and
Yeah,
then I grew up in San Francisco for most of my life.
Say it, Noe Valley,
10th and
26th and
Cabrillo.
Church. What?
Yeah, 10th and Cabrillo.
See, this is why you asked.
What high school?
No, I didn't go to school in San Fran. Where'd you go?
Lick Wilmerding High School.
Oh, like rich kids or
Small
something?
school. I was one of 5
Where?
scholarship kids. I had to take
Humperdinck High School?
Lick Wilmerding. Yeah, I lived in Noe Valley, but I took the 24 to Visadero and the K Ingleside.
I was
over
on
there.
the N Judah. You know,
I've
up
been
there
on the
with-
N Judah many times.
All right, now I'm sorry you asked.
Sorry.
So, you get those sandwiches, and then they would give you the free block of cheese, and it's basically like kind of a Velveeta type of cheese log. And then as you eat that all your life, you love it. And so now I'm always like, where can you get that like government cheese at? Because you're into it,
I'll play that. So my thing, if you grew up like we grew up. So I grew up poor. I grew up playing football. I grew up getting yelled at. I grew, and then I walked on a construction site, and Mike Sturmat, my foreman, just would scream at me.
Felt like home.
And I'm just like, people say to me like all the time, like I think I have a headache, so I'm not sure. I'm always like, fucking fix it and show up, would you please? Or you're fine, or walk it off, or whatever. And everyone hates me, but I'm always right. No, anyone who says I got this, but. It could be, here's how I feel, or here's what I'm doing with my smoothie. And I'm so old man, millionaire raccoon, that I'm always like, what the fuck? Fix it, or walk it off, or get your shit together. But this is Jimmy Johnson, 1989.
Okay.
And he goes, go ahead, just play it. It's funny.
Stories are legendary. Him waving the kicker with asthma, sending him off to the asthma field as he cut him.
Son, are you part of this group? Asthma, my. Get over there on that other field and have some asthma. Get out of here.
I just want to yell that at everyone now when they go like,
Into the parking lot.
I go, I can't come in today, boss, because it's my half birthday. Have some asthma.
Over there.
Have some asthma. All right, you know what? I'm not feeling quite right. Have some asthma. That's my new catchphrase. Have some asthma.
Over there.
And everyone who's not finishing their smoothie, everyone who's not feeling it today, everyone who does that thing, people fucking about driving, they're like, listen, we're going to San Diego, but I'm not driving the whole way. Have some asthma, bitch. Like I fucking rode a motorcycle in a rainstorm to Santa Barbara with no helmet. Have some asthma. That's why I want to yell, have some asthma at everybody.
Well, that can be the subtitle for Millionaire Raccoon.
Everyone is like, I'm allergic to legumes. Have some asthma, bitch. We're eating salad here.
You having a panic
my
attack
mom
because
was
of Diet
that.
Coke?
Have some asthma. I would have yelled that at you if you're on my doorstep.
My mom's definitely him, man, because I'd be like, I'm sick. She goes, we don't get sick.
Oh,
Get
right.
to school or work. I got all my work ethic from her.
Yeah,
Like,
I will
no
say
days off.
That does help because I don't think, Adam, you ever missed a day sick in 5 years on the air. And
No,
I didn't.
Oh, but here's my life. I never get sick. Everyone around me explains to me that whatever I'm doing is making me sick or going to make me sick.
Yeah.
But then I have to explain. They go, you're not washing that fruit before you eat it. You're not using Purell after wiping your ass. Or you got to kick your shoes off before you come in the house because you track in germs. You take that water bottle. It breeds bacteria. The little ones, you can't clean. I go, I don't give a fuck. Have some asthma. And then they go, that shit's going to make you sick. And I go, you're talking to the person who never gets sick, who engages in the behavior that they're constantly explaining is going to make me sick, but I never get sick. Isn't there a hole in your logic somewhere?
Absolutely.
Have some asthma.
Absolutely.
That's going to be my get her done.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up
catchphrase.
on stage. I'm going to go, kids these days, they're texting, have some asthma. And everyone's going to go fucking nuts.
You should go on the road with Bill.
You gotta
I
get
should go with Bill.
You got to get the new
Cosby.
shirt. It's your merch.
Have some asthma.
It's your merch.
Yeah, get some merch. You go with Cosby, could be have a roofie.
I may have went. I think Chris has been present when I've done some sort of old-timers, not throwing away food.
Yeah.
So, the smoothies, not only will I finish the kids' smoothies off because they're $11 and I'm not fucking throwing that away. It's cosmically horrible to throw away protein, food, and sustenance.
Especially a smoothie. How do you not finish it? They're so good.
I fucking
What the fuck are you doing?
I was, oh my God, I just had this thought. I got an old-timer in food transport.
Okay.
'Cause Chris has been around.
For example, I've seen Adam, his carry-on luggage is a styrofoam box from dinner last night. Like
Thank you.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He'll put
Yeah.
that in
LA.
the overhead bins.
You will
like,
take that
that's-
food up to a comfortable cruising altitude before you throw it away.
You're going to get botulism, man.
Oh,
that pepperoni
Have some
up
asthma,
there.
bro. I never miss a day of work. Have some asthma. There's your sign. Have some asthma.
There's your sign.
So it was a 1-2 punch. I was in New York last weekend with my daughter, and we're walking through Manhattan. We went to the park and everything, and we passed by this smoothie place. There's like a new hipster smoothie place in Manhattan, and we go in there, and we both order a smoothie. And like just 2 smoothies, thanks. And I'm like getting to the thing. She's like, $35.
Yep.
I'm like,
Whoa.
$35 fucking dollars.
Erewhon
For
prices.
2
Oh, yeah.
Erewhon price,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, all right, $35 smoothie. Back to the hotel. I then take my smoothie and I step on it with water.
Oh.
Because the thing about a smoothie is it's too dense. You can drink half of it, dump half a thing of water in it, maybe 1.5 inches of water in it, stir it up, you'll enjoy it just as much, and you get the extra mileage out of your smoothie, right? So then I'm checking out of the hotel, and I like checked out of my room or something, and then my daughter's in the room next to me. I go, I'm checking out. I go, I just want to hit your bathroom real quick before you check. I can't go in there. Go in there. She's ordered room service. There's practically a full omelet sitting on the fucking plate.
That's a $32 omelet.
She's got her fucking wheelie bag. She's heading for the lobby. Next to it is at least $17 worth of her smoothie sitting there. So I'm like, There's no utensils. I'm like with my hands. I'm like, I'm going to shove this omelet in my
You
face.
mean your raccoon claws?
Yeah.
Millionaire raccoon. I fucking shove that like the bandit I am. I shove that thing in my face. Take her smoothie and marry it.
Oh yeah, marry
with my smoothie.
Not
but
the same flavor. Doesn't
But I got
have
an all timer, Chris.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I, you know, Chris and I don't see eye to eye on everything, but when
I'm a
it
lot
comes
shorter
to
than
not wasting food,
Yeah.
I've seen this man
Okay.
eat shrimp tails.
Oh.
I have seen him devour
tail?
discarded
Happily.
shrimp tails. And I was like, I got a new respect for
Little
you.
fucking just so. Also, those people that just leave the pizza crust. You know, they eat down
Oh,
and
you
they
gotta
leave,
eat the bones.
they leave the
Yeah.
crust around. You know, on the in the box. You're like,
Oh yeah, and don't reach for your second slice while
Yeah.
there's still a third
Finish
of your
that.
finish
Yeah.
your shit.
fuck you,
Fuck
eat
you.
that.
I don't
Eat
know.
that.
I don't know if any of you have been in the food service industry.
No, I
But
couldn't because I couldn't throw away food. I
Oh
couldn't
my
bust
gosh.
food. I'd have to
You'd
fucking
have to
eat
eat
it off a
theirs.
tray.
There was definitely a time when I was bussing some crab cakes. And there were 3 that comes with 3, and one had not been touched.
You can't leave a crab cake
How-
behind.
You can't.
Absolutely not.
That's what the
That's
Marines
insane.
say.
That's an
Yeah.
insane.
I know.
Also, when it comes 3 and there's 2, I'm like, oh, good, I'm getting 2. If there's just 2 of
Yeah.
us and
Oh,
the
yeah.
3 come, there's not going to be a leftover one.
They
What, are you
always serve them
crazy?
in
What is
3
that?
or
It's always
5
in
anyway.
3.
Yeah.
The human beings. All right, and I will tell you a colossal story of food transportation, but one of the most perturbed flights, 6 hours I ever spent in the air, was flying to New York first class many years ago, back when first class was first class, man. I mean,
yeah.
they'd fly you on American to do Letterman or something. You'd do first class, and man, it's fucking steak and lobster and
Warm nuts.
a cart. They'd roll the cart, the dessert cart, the Sunday cart. The Sunday cart would come out at the end, and they'd go, do you want the hot fudge? Do you want the caramel? Or do you want the strawberry? And I'd go, yeah.
Yes.
Bring
Yes.
it all, bitch.
Yes.
We're doing a suicide. And if it's slopping over the edge, I'll take my finger and I'll drag it on the plate below. Put it all in. And hot nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've had dudes fall asleep with me who I didn't know, but they didn't touch their hot nuts. I fucking powered.
I was wondering
mowed
that.
right through my fucking
Yeah.
nuts. Ordered a second round, but now I'm on fucking nut probation, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't go third round of hot nuts.
Right.
This dude's sawing logs, full recline right here. He's got a thing of nuts getting cold. I go for his shit. I've done that. I've eaten
that's
shit
fair.
off other
They
people's
wake up,
plates.
you're like,
Yes.
yeah, they took your nuts away. Sorry.
I've eaten hotel food off the fucking
In the
floor.
hallway.
No, I didn't
In the
do
hallway.
that. But I used to get drunk,
Room
really
service
drunk.
food. Yeah.
I'd walk around the Haight, and they had a burrito place on the Haight, and people would be drunk, and they'd eat a couple bites of their burrito and toss it in. I'd come out of Murrio's trophy room drunk. I'd be like, all right.
It's a good burrito.
Yeah, no line here.
The only tough part of a used burrito is that first bite.
Yeah, that's
because
it.
it's all your saliva after that.
That's it.
You
You just got to
burrito.
bust that. You got to bust that saliva hymen, and once you get through, it's all your DNA for the next 4.5 inches.
Yeah, and you always give it a whiff. You go like this. Yeah, that's
fine.
that's chicken. All right, you just
Smell
go
test.
for it.
Yeah.
Just loaded up the booze.
Did
with
you
all the
ever?
rice.
Did you ever get judgmental? Like you pull one out of the trash can, you're like, no salsa. Who
You're
the
like,
fuck
vegan?
orders the fucking vegan.
Vegan burrito.
This is bullshit. I'm gonna find this person.
Yeah. Where's the pork?
I did an all timer in the food transport department.
Okay.
So anyone who's traveled with me knows if we're in Chicago and I have a steak and there's enough of that steak left behind, it's coming back to LA with me. And I do not have the ability to refrigerate food on the road. If I'm lucky, the hotel has the mini fridge.
Right.
Put it in the mini fridge, do it overnight, and it'll kind of stay until you get back to LA. But that's on like a 3 or 4 hour flight, you know.
Right.
I go to the Hamptons. I take my daughter out. We do Indian food.
Oh no, your Curry Village, the plane.
boy.
Fucking,
Just curry the
she
plane.
orders too much shit.
Oh no.
we're left with a bunch of Indian food.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Very
the
liquidy.
Hamptons is a 2.5 hour car ride from Manhattan.
Oh, God. That shit is dead already.
I bring the shit home from the Indian place in the Hamptons.
Oh.
Put it in the mini fridge.
Yeah.
Put it in my backpack. 2.5 hour ride from the Hamptons to Dr. Drew's condo in Manhattan at Hudson Yards. Bring the backpack up. A lot of it bled out. There's a lot of curry shit.
Yeah.
My jeans got all full of curry because they were in there. Took all of the fucking food.
Ew.
I had to wash it off because it like bled out a little. Put it into Drew's refrigerator in Manhattan.
He's happy about that, I'm sure.
Then pulled it out. Was at Drew's place for about 3 hours. Pulled it out, put it all in a plastic bag, like a shopping bag.
Oh.
A lot of it wasn't in the container anymore, just dumped out. It was in the container for this part of the trip. Put it in the shopping bag, tied up the shopping bag, put the shopping bag back in the backpack. I had to like zip it up because it smelled and people were like asking questions and stuff. Got on to Mark Garrigus' private jet.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
At 8 p.m. Flew back to Van Nuys.
Yeah.
Drove from Van Nuys to Malibu at 11 at night and ate the fucking Indian food the next goddamn day in goddamn
still
Malibu.
ate it.
That's a stunt man.
Indian
Wow.
food
Stunt man.
from,
Gross.
and we're not even from Manhattan.
The Hamptons.
The Hamptons. Hamptons Indian food.
That's a record.
Gosh.
No Indian food has ever traveled that far over that many days. Ate it, felt fucking fine. Took a victory lap.
That is great. If you remember, next time you're in a hotel, they have the laundry bag hanging in your closet.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Use that
Sometimes
to protect.
yes, not
Yes.
always, but
Yeah.
yes.
That's always my dirty clothes bag.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just throw. I'll tell you, I was flying first
Anyone
class.
ever going to beat that record?
I was flying first class.
Not unless
and
it's from Calcutta itself.
Right.
what Michael Bolton, and he was married to the famous woman that was on like
Yeah, Melrose Place.
Desperate Housewives. I
Yes.
think. What's her name?
Nicole Sheridan.
Yeah. So I'm on first class. They come on, and they're sitting right next to me, and they got like 3 bags of McDonald's. And as soon as we take off, I don't know what happened, but they just passed out. And so the McDonald's was on the floor. It just rolled. The plane takes off. It just rolls out of the bag. You know, Big Macs, nuggets, all over first class, fries, just stinking.
I'd eat
up.
that shit right off the
Lettuce.
floor.
Just
Wafting.
stinking up first class. Fully, man.
I don't know about you guys, but I have trouble throwing away the sauce packets or the little ketchups from room service.
Everything is waste.
Yes.
I took energy to make everything, and you're wasting energy, except for I live with people who don't give 2 shits about any of it all the time, which drives me insane. But the most miserable I ever was in first class is, as I was telling you, like early on when first class was first class. I mean, they had the champagne roller bar thing up front. You know, they're pouring you flutes of champagne.
People are smoking cigarettes on the long, like
with an
fucking
extender.
penguin.
Yeah.
Opera length gloves.
Monocles.
I get on this flight at perfect first class time because you can get on the flight, the red eye, whatever, and they just shut the lights and hand you a blanket. That's like, I don't want to fucking do my job for 6 hours. I'm like, you're doing your job. But this is out of LAX on like a 5:30 flight to New York, which means prime time, first class, booze. You know, you do the morning first class, you want the highball, but you're a little self-conscious about ordering your third gin and tonic, you know, at 8 in the morning. But this is prime time drinking and eating hour, the dinner, the whole thing. I'm sitting next to this dude. We're taking off. She comes by as soon as we get to altitude. Oh, before, you know, champagne. I'm like, champagne or water, whatever. I'm like, champagne and water. Everything's like, bring them both.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, waves her off. No, that's good. Then we get to like cruising altitude, hot nuts. He waves off the hot nuts. Then like the snack basket comes out. He waves that off. Then like the fucking cheese tray comes out. He waves off the cheese tray. Then the cocktails start coming. I'm ordering the cocktails. He's waving off. Water, no. Beer, no. Highball, no. Not wave it off. Now the entree. Now we're talking about filet mignon and whatever. You're getting the fish, you're getting the sea bass or whatever. Waves them both off. Waves off the fucking Sunday cart. Waves the fucking Sunday cart off. Did not consume anything in first class. I'm 10 minutes from my childhood, like sitting there going like, oh my God, could I
have doubles.
I could take his room back to the hotel. Like, who is this dude? Is this the most powerful man in the world? Do we worship him?
I hate
do
him.
we defeat him?
But do we know?
What do we do?
That's in your fucking $10,000 price of the ticket.
Yeah.
You don't deserve
But that's
it.
nothing to him,
I know.
obviously.
Right.
My thing is I have to try to eat and drink my way back into that ticket.
Yes.
You know, I gotta
I want
annihilate
to
that
knock
ticket.
$2,000 off that
Right,
thing.
you're in the red trying to eat your way into the black.
That's
I'm
what
taking home
doing.
headphones, the whole time. I sneak the blanket out for my dog.
I'll take the Sky catalog with me.
I got
I'll
that.
fucking do everything. Yeah, this guy's just waving off every attempt.
I'm fucking rolling out with all the shit, the dual face wipes they give you, the towels,
I never learned. I don't know who's more interesting to me. There's two guys I've come across in my life I really wanted to talk to, but I didn't. There's that guy who waved everything off of first class. And then there was the guy when we finished doing the radio show, the morning show it was like we went to Fogo de Chao at 11 in the morning.
Wow, that's
at
heavy.
11 in the morning, went to Fogo de Chao, like right when they opened. And there was a dude there alone. And he just went to Fogo de Chao alone, and he was just eating alone at Fogo de Chao. And that's like going to a Benihana's and just sitting alone in the middle of a group.
He shot himself later that day. That was that was his
Last meal.
own last meal.
That was
he didn't
that?
get on Frasier. He's like, that was it.
I was like, who is this guy? I want to know. You know what I mean? But maybe he's the most centered man on the planet.
Yeah.
Maybe his answer is, I like Fogo de Chao.
Right. I don't need
At
to be in a
11.
festive
I'm like,
group.
it's 11. If you're alone, you should be eating a sandwich standing up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you do when
Absolutely.
you eat alone at 11 in the morning. You stand and you eat.
Yeah.
You eat a sandwich with your hands and you stand.
At
you
the
don't
deli.
sit with your stop-go a doily up and down. Oh, more brisket. Yeah, I'll take some more brisket. It's 11 in the morning. Alone.
That's insane.
All right.
That's insane.
You know
Sorry.
what I like that what Adam does too is if we're eating and like say somebody doesn't want avocado on their salad, comes around Adam's like,
Oh, yeah.
I will take
his
that
avocado.
on my food
Yeah.
or on
Yes,
the salad.
Don't
I
wave
like
off
that.
the cotto.
Because I don't eat meat, so if it comes with the chicken, put it on a side plate.
By the way, etiquette is if you're going to wave off something, especially something as great as avocado, you got to offer it up to the table. You don't just tell them to keep their
take it.
avocado.
You go, anybody want my avocado? That's what you fucking do. They go, you like avocado? You go, absolutely. They go, anybody want my avocado? I don't like that bullshit. That's what you do. You don't give it back to them. Now they're making money on you.
Yeah, I agree. That's a fool's
Fuck you
errand.
guys.
I'm saying, you got to offer it up.
Any of your kids, you got two? How many you got?
Twins.
Are any of them like you, or are they both like, Dad?
My son has some elements of me. My daughter does not possess that gene where we cannot waste things. And both of them are pretty, money's invisible. They grow up with everything they want.
Venmo, you don't see it and touch it.
Yeah, there's
Rich
nothing.
kids.
Yeah, they're rich kids. There's nothing. They shouldn't be. They're pretty well adjusted, even though God knows we tried to fuck them up. But they're pretty well adjusted. They just like, for me, you could never throw away something that had value because of how I grew up, and for them, it's like no big whoop. You know.
Well, you know what happens, man, when you don't fucking grow up poor, and when you don't work like 8 hours a day, like construction, swinging a hammer or something, going, God damn, and you buy something and you bring it home, and you go, that's why I always buy the best of whatever it is, because I know it's going to last forever. People go, you spent that on that? I go, yeah, but for 10 years or so, I'll have this.
Talking about tools or Indian food? 'Cause I'll do Indian food for 10 years.
Yeah. Denim or boots or something.
If they did one of those maps of like how ships travel at sea with my Indian food, that'd be some kind of all-time record, right?
Yes,
Indian
most miles traveled per dollar spent.
From the Indian food place
back
to the Hamptons place. That was 4 miles right there.
Right.
And then back to Drew's place in Manhattan. And then from Drew's place to the airport, Teterboro over there. And then from Teterboro to Van Nuys. From Van Nuys to Malibu.
And a dirty shopping bag on top of it.
Yeah.
Just some bag, plastic bag.
There should be an Indiana Jones map trail.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
All right.
Also, no botulism, because Indian food, it's definitely, I remember I left some out all night and got up in the morning and had a couple and immediately was sick, like food poisoning.
Never get it.
Fuck.
All right, take a quick break. Got some calls up there, some news, all sorts of stuff. Right after this. Just Thrive. Oh, man. You've got so much stress. Don't you just want to hit the pause button and just breathe? Just Calm from Just Thrive can help. Just Calm's all-natural blend of mood-lifting, psychobiotics, and brain-nourishing B vitamins helps you take back control and feel your most cool, calm, and collected. I take mine every day. Multiple studies prove it works quickly to soothe everyday stress and sharpen focus in as little as 4 weeks. Or try Just Thrive Probiotic, a spore probiotic that banishes gas and bloat and helps your gut produce serotonin, and that's the happy hormone. Plus, it supports better sleep. Once you get onto this, you won't get off. I had dinner with the owners, the founders, and I had Tina on the show, and it's a real product. They're hugely invested in it, and it works. I take it. You take it too. Am I right, Dawson?
With Just Calm and Just Thrive Probiotic, you'll have the ultimate stress-fighting duo to help you feel cool, collected, and in control. Get 20% off your first 90-day bottle of Just Calm and Just Thrive Probiotic today. Visit JustThriveHealth.com and use promo code Adam.
Morgan & Morgan. Let me lay a stat on you. People 15 to 24 have the highest rate of ER visits due to car accidents. And I got kids, and they're about that age, so it seems, well, they're right in that age group. It's kind of scary. So if you've ever been injured, check out Morgan & Morgan. Submitting a claim with Morgan & Morgan is easy. You can use it the same way you use like a rideshare app. It is that easy. And even easier than swiping right on a dating app, which, by the way, leads to more trouble, or this could lead to more money. America's largest injury law firm, 100-plus offices nationwide, over 800 lawyers, more than $15 billion recovered for clients. So if you're injured in an accident, check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win, so it's no risk. Morgan & Morgan, right, Dawson?
For more information, go to forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's FOR, thepeople.com/Adam or #law, #529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement.
The Jordan Harbinger Show, a different kind of sponsor for this episode. The Jordan Harbinger Show. Well, if you're a fan of fascinating podcasts and interesting people, you should definitely check this one out. There's an episode for everyone, no matter what you're into. Jordan talks with Scott Adams about persuasion in a world where facts don't matter anymore. Man, is he right. Or you go inside the dark world of wildlife trafficking. You'll always find something useful to apply to your own life, like routine changes to boost productivity or slight mindset tweaks that change how you see the world. Jordan's a good guy. We've had him on many times. I know the man well, and he's worth a listen. We enjoy the show, and we know you will too. So you can search The Jordan Harbinger Show. That is HARB as in boy, IN as in Nancy, GER on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace man, Jason from Philadelphia. I got a great example of kids with way too much self-esteem. Coaching 9-year-olds in baseball, I'm at first base coaching. Kid has 2 strikes. I tell him to choke up, shorten up his swing. Kid swings and strikes out. Walks down to yell at me, says he would have hit the ball if I didn't tell him to choke up. We're screwed. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Get some asthma.
I appreciate that because it leads into my book, which is about Little League.
Mm-hmm.
And
kind of. Yeah.
Yes. Making it home. Life lessons from a season of Little League. Chris, by the way, Adam, you're on the back of the book. You loved
nice
it.
Little blurb.
Yeah. This book may be about Little League, but Teresa is a major league talent.
Oh, I stand by my words.
Right there.
How much did that cost?
I just told my sister to do it.
Chris read an excerpt that was on the Today Show's blog.
I mean, take this in the spirit in which it's intended. I was very surprised. You're an excellent writer. I loved it. It's about, Teresa, for those who don't know, lost her brother and then her mother in like a 4-month span.
Yep, 4 months to the day.
And then so decided to, and then eventually goes with her dad to watch her kids play Little League. By the way, the Little League field now, the great equalizer. You and your dad relate and can talk to each other whilst watching Little League games. And that's kind of how they communicate. It's like their own language, watching these games and communicating, kind of just getting through these times together.
Teresa is a very good writer, and you have to be smart first, I think, and then you have to have some sort of, je ne sais quoi or some pixie dust or something. But Teresa is a really smart person, and a really good writer, and really funny. And I was always like, that's why I wanted you to talk more, because I see that. Now, I don't understand. To me, things are pretty apparent pretty quick, like who's smart and who's not smart. And it's kind of a weird, I'm going through this in this stage in our civilization a lot, which makes me, I'll bring it back to something. I got some phone calls and stuff, but it's like, you go into the realm of politics or whatever, right? And you got Robert Kennedy Jr., right? And it is Robert Kennedy Jr., right?
Yeah.
I got him.
Died in the plane crash?
No, RFK Jr.
RFK Jr., and he's running for whatever.
Married to Cheryl Hines.
I got you.
Married to Cheryl Hines, right?
Yeah.
And people, you hear people, I've interviewed him multiple times, and you sit with the guy for an hour, and you go, this guy's super fucking smart. He's super bright. And, he may have a few kooky ideas about vaccines or whatever, but if he could explain those to you. But you go, this guy's fucking sharp. And so I go, oh, Teresa's smart. Like, I felt that way about Nick Santora, Kevin Hench. I was like, these guys are smart. They're smart. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to collaborate with them. And then I've interviewed Marianne Williamson, who's also running for president, who's a fucking dingbat who doesn't have a thought in her fucking candle-burning, sage-fucking flushing head. And people are like, I like her. I like her. And I'm like, she doesn't have thoughts. She's like Kamala Harris. Like, they don't have thoughts. And they're like, I don't know. I like her. And it's like, wow, we are fucked. We are fucked because people go, I don't like Robert Kennedy because his voice is all weird. Like, he's not a carnival barker. He's making policies. He's making
He's not
policies.
a singer.
I like.
I don't like his voice. Eddie Vedder was way better.
Yeah.
He should run for
Michael
president.
Bolton was eating McDonald's on the plane. He
Marianne
was the
Williamson's a fucking dingbat. But yet, it's policy that we're talking about. Yeah. And one guy's super fucking smart, and the other one's a fucking dingbat. And they're like, well, I don't know. I think I'm going with the dingbat. Like, Gavin Newsom's a fucking dingbat. He doesn't say anything. He's a fucking idiot. Be like, I think I'm going with him, though. Yeah. Like, what is going on? I met Teresa, and I was like, she's sharp, she's smart, she should talk more because she has good ideas and she's funny, and I would have to talk less, and I still get paid 50 times as much as her.
Yeah.
So why not let her talk more?
Right.
Why don't people understand? It's a bizarre thing. I meet everybody. You meet Mark Garagos, you go, oh, this guy's fucking smart. This guy's smart. I would let him set policy for things because he's smart, and then you hear the politicians. You're like, this fucking guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
what is going on?
Well, it's different skill sets, right? Like I don't feel I'm that good a talker. I'm much better when I'm writing. When I'm writing, I'm very uninhibited, which is a skill that you have, Adam. There's one Adam. If you know Adam, it's the same Adam you're listening to in this podcast that you're eating shrimp tails with at dinner, who's taking the Indian food from the Hamptons. There's one Adam, and he's the same whether he's in print or speaking to you or on the air or off the air. I'm very introverted. I get uncomfortable around people. I always think I'm saying or doing the wrong thing, probably from eating tacos off the floor. Like I know that there's a good chance that I'm doing a social faux pas. But when I'm writing, I feel like you can revise it until it's exactly what you mean.
It's like me with dance. It's the only time I feel free.
Yeah.
It's the only time I feel truly free.
Just
Yeah.
fucking
The
out on the
majesty of
floor.
dance.
It's the only time I'm free.
Just
Like on
tearing
Dancing
it
with the
up.
Stars, for example, on the unicycle.
All right, we got a couple of questions up here. Now, somebody's following up. They have some Yaphet Kotto information because I was telling Eric Griffin, I think, that Yaphet Kotto is the blackest man to ever be born.
Okay, wait. How
He went with Nakende Ntumbo, right?
Dikembe Mutombo.
Dikembe Mutombo, the sender?
Yeah, he's black, but he's not Yaphet Kotto black. You got to be.
Are you talking spiritually or actually
It's
the
a
color?
whole. I'll know it when I see it.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yes.
And,
Black factor.
the Obamas need not apply. Is
Okay.
all
Got
I'm
it.
saying. There's a certain kind of a blackness when he gets he's so black. You can see it in his eyes. Like if you just saw his eyes and you didn't see any of them, you'd go, "That's a black dude." Now that's Yaphet Kotto, but somebody's got some information
Okay.
on him. This is not a slight. This is to be celebrated.
Yeah, no, I that's exactly how I took it.
Thank you. Let's see. Mike, 40, LA.
Yeah, hey, Ace, Teresa, Dan.
You got Yaphet
Hi.
Kotto
Yeah, so
info? He's passed.
No,
right?
I'm Dean. Come on, man.
Sorry,
What
Dan.
the
It's
fuck?
Dean. Sorry.
sorry. Yeah, and I'm surprised maybe Teresa knows this or not, but Yaphet Kotto actually is half Jewish, and I was wondering if this impacted his life.
Wait a second. This is a great question for you, Adam.
Yeah, the name Yaphet should have gave it away, I guess.
I guess you say half Jewish?
Well, yeah, his father's ancestors were African Jews from modern-day
could even be
Israel,
blacker, though.
migrated.
I
makes it
gotta talk to
blacker.
Kanye
Mother
and figure this one out. I don't want to do it alone. I don't want to say anything that's going to upset Kanye. So I'd like to consult with him before
Yes.
I render
Yeah.
a decision.
Yeah.
But no, I did not know that Yaphet was half black. And then where's Yaphet? Yaphet passed some time ago, right? He's at a wedding. And he's got the prayer shawl.
That's a tallis.
Yeah.
The talents, and he's marrying a white woman. Oh man!
I think she's Asian, right, or Hispanic or something.
She looks Asian in the
This
face.
could be
Yeah.
this could be hurting my argument.
I know.
Mike,
He
I'm
even
gonna have
said
to do
it
some
was
soul
rough coming
searching.
up, going to shul and putting a yarmulke on, having to face people who were primarily Baptist.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
When did he pass? Or did he?
2021.
2021.
Yes, he passed on.
You know, there should be a class action lawsuit.
Against?
Everybody who died during all this COVID bullshit. So I was like sitting around the other day and I was like, when did Tommy Lasorda die? He died in like 2021.
And
you
it
know,
just
and
got lost in the
that's like,
shuffle.
I'm from LA.
Yeah.
Tommy Lasorda is like an ambassador for LA. He's
Yes.
the biggest name.
Listen,
in
I just wrote an entire baseball book. I remember when he was on the show and
LA.
he said you were a 5-tool player and could have been a baseball player.
Oh God, that's why you
You know what's
come back
weird
on
though?
this show.
Speaking of that, that like in today's world, your parents would have you in baseball because you're a tall lefty, right? But at that time, like I don't think your dad even came to a football. He wouldn't have thought to himself, this kid could be really good
No,
at a certain
but
specific sport because of his height and his handedness.
No, yeah. Tommy Lasorda said I could play professional
He
baseball.
did.
What?
Yes.
Well, because I tried out for him in a bit.
For
He
the
wasn't-
Dodgers. But I mean, but Adam's a very good athlete and was a boxer and played football.
But
I don't
so
know.
I
I don't
love-
know if he's mentioned it.
I only love Tommy Lasorda because of that compliment. But
I played Little League. Did you play Little League?
oh yeah, I played
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
too.
Did you pitch?
Yeah.
No, I played right field.
I was the catcher. We had this guy. He was from Hawaii, Guy Yamoka. And he was like 5th grade, could throw 80 miles an hour. Like, what the hell
Well, the
is
Hawaiians win the Little League World Series.
And I would have to catch it. And I'd be like, this guy was insane. I don't know what happened to him, but I wanted to know if he ended up playing pro ever. Gayamoka. Unbelievable. Don't ask me how to spell it. But Samoan guy from Hawaii, crushing player.
Now, did he have off-speed pitches or just a fastball?
He had everything, man. He could throw a knuckle. He could throw a fastball. And, you know, you got those guys in baseball when you're a kid that were just insane. Like the kid that hit home run every time. You know?
Yeah, we had one of those too.
Yeah, I will say in the Little League, because I live in Arizona and there's spring training there and there's a ton of retired ball players there. So in the season I write about in Making It Home, 2 of the coaches were retired professional Major League Baseball players, and one of them was Andre Ethier, who was a longtime Dodger, and all the moms were in love with him. He's very handsome. Dude, yeah. Even my dad at one point was like, I think I have a crush on Andre Ethier. But I mean, his kids are incredible athletes.
Yaphet Kotto's wife is Filipino. But
I saw that. So we all have connections to him now.
But back to the class action lawsuit against anyone who fucking died during this COVID hysteria bullshit, who's just lost to the dustbin of time. Like, Tommy Lasorda, the biggest name. And I'm sitting around going, he's dead, right? But I don't know when he died. And anytime you think that, you look it up and it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, he died in, when year did Tommy Lasorda? I think it was like 21, right? So ESPN or CNN would be like, oh, today Tommy Lasorda died.
Right.
Now back to 21. The COVID death chart.
Right.
You know? And all you got out of that was the COVID
Well, do you want to celebrate
Playing
him
first base is COVID.
Yes. Exactly.
Died and when into that
January.
If you in January, right in the fucking teeth of COVID, if you were unlucky enough to die right in COVID hysteria.
Oh, no glory.
No one even knows if you're alive. They couldn't go to your funeral.
Yeah.
They wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
You couldn't visit you in the hospice care. You were fucked. Should be a fucking class action lawsuit against all these criminal politicians who did this to everybody. Imagine your fucking dad's in hospice care or whatever. Forget about my dad, but Tommy Lasorda's in hospice care and I can't go fucking visit him. His kids can't visit him. It's all, ugh.
Yeah, it happened to a lot of people. Gina's dad.
Yeah, that was terrible. I think she was one of the people that was placed herself where he could see her out the window from his healthcare facility.
Fucking nothing. It's
really
fucking
sad.
retards. By the way, that's why everyone needs to be punished for being wrong. Everyone hates it when I keep saying this. Punish these people. Everyone needs to be punished. Sorry, go ahead.
By the way, Farrah Fawcett died right after Michael Jackson.
That's right.
And I feel like she got lost in that.
Oh, yeah. She's a legend, man.
I know.
Yeah. These things,
I did a... what's the one still alive? The Jacqueline Smith?
Yes.
I did a charity for her.
She's still gorgeous, right?
Yeah, for her cancer fund for Farrah Fawcett. They asked me to do comedy. They called the Comedy Store. Hey, can you send up a couple comedians? So, you know, that's the one where you get there, they don't tell you what it is, you know, and you get there and you're like, they know the material I'm doing, right? Oh, yeah, it's all good. Just go up there.
You're going after the tribute video.
Yeah, and you get there, and it's just some billionaire's house in Beverly Hills, and she's dead front row with a guy, and I just don't even know what to do because everybody's sad, and I looked at the guy and go, how weird is it that you married the chick you rubbed one out to as a kid, the poster, and everyone died. I go, I'm in. It worked.
Well,
it's true.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true.
Right. It worked, and I got lucky, but holy shit. Man.
All right, so what's
That
our
was a big
rendering?
swing.
We need a decision on Yaphet Kotto.
Well, there's more to him also.
When did he die?
But is it just
does he die
head-to-head against
21
Dikembe
too?
Mutombo?
Could be anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he died in 2021 March.
Now, see?
Oh,
COVID,
yeah, that's why we
nobody
don't
knows.
know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, lost in the shuffle of Tommy Lasorda's death.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, also, he expressed support for Black Lives Matter and QAnon.
And
Wow.
QAnon.
Yeah.
That's-
QAnon hurts.
Man.
That's rangier than the earnings of an architect.
All right, let's just talk. I'll talk to Kanye and we'll get back to you
Okay.
on this one, Mike. I appreciate it.
He forgave the Jews, I think, Kanye.
Yeah, I just want to consult. I just want to do it.
Can't hurt.
Too rash.
Can't hurt.
Yeah, I need to make sure.
Eric, 48 from San Diego.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Actually, I'm up from Oceanside, north of Solano Beach.
That's
So
what I'm talking about. See how you did that, Dean?
Really enjoyed the show, man.
Thank you. Like where in the Bay Area?
San Diego.
Where?
San Diego. Yeah, very specific. Thanks, Eric. What do you got?
I just want to say I don't think the crowd appreciated you as much as they should have. I really enjoyed your show.
Which one?
Been a long-time fan.
What?
The second show on the beach last night.
Second show. First show was probably better, but the second show was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't hear any booing or anything.
I
love you were there?
You guys are great, man.
I love when people say that. Like, you have a great set, and you're like, I just don't think the crowd was getting you. I'm like, you heard the people laughing, right? Like, what do you want them to do?
It was, the first show was extra great, and the second show was really good. So,
well, Eric,
where
is
were
that?
I just felt like people are holding themselves back.
oh, they're holding themselves back.
Why?
Yeah, it's not like I was having sex with them.
Where were you?
scared.
Where were you playing at?
Let's stifle our laughter.
Adam, where were you at?
Belly up.
Oh, Belly Up. Oh, the Rock Club.
Eric,
Yeah.
have you seen Adam live before?
Me? No.
Yes. No.
No.
So that was
All
that
right.
what you expected?
No, I don't know.
I got all
Is he
weird.
apologizing for himself?
I don't know.
Are you coming off Diet Coke?
Oh, man.
Are you high, or do you do HVAC for a profession?
No, I'm a French carpenter.
A finish?
Oh.
No.
French carpenter.
I knew he was
I
in
do
the
fine
trades.
work.
Yeah, that was good, Adam.
Should we talk a little carpentry
Yeah.
and see what he knows?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm all tradesman. I know it all.
Can you do wood paneling?
Wood paneling.
Yeah, like on.
That's like 70 shit.
Yeah, no, well, it's actually 50 shit.
Do you do, like, if you did the
Well, I
inside?
was born in the 70s, so that's where I,
Yeah, yeah.
If you did the inside on baseboard, would you
Cope cut it.
You'd cope it?
Okay.
Okay.
All my inside corners are all cope cut.
All right. He's cutting with coping sauce.
Which of the
With the
Charlie's
5 degree
Angels?
Back set.
All right. And what do we go underneath the baseboard? We go quarter round or base shoe?
Oh, I put mine flat to the floor. Scribe it to the floor.
You'd scribe it to the floor?
That's the only way to go.
Yep.
How would you scribe it to the floor?
With my scribe.
Okay. All right. But how would you cut? Would you use like a hand?
Sand it down, jigsaw it down.
Okay.
Rip it on the table saw. Anyway.
All right. What kind of table saw you got?
DeWalt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wait a second. You don't like
broke right
DeWalt?
Yeah.
what?
What kind of?
You want to buy me a new power pneumatics? We can have fun.
Wait, do you think
hitting
you
on
can
him?
guess other things about this man from what you've heard already? Like what kind of car he drives?
He
Is
drives
he
a
married?
truck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Dodge
What
Ram.
kind of truck?
Dodge Ram.
Oh, I'm going. Nah,
I live in San Diego.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's that have to do?
Raptor. He's got a Raptor.
No, that's too much money.
but-
Like he
So
has
much.
his fit his surfboard?
I'm
in?
going Ford F-250.
Toyota 4x4.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Japanese.
Wait, can you tell if he's married, divorced, kids?
He's definitely divorced. Nobody would stay
I
with
love
her.
Toyota, man.
I should be.
All right, Eric. But he knows
Hey, I've
finished
enjoyed you
carpentry.
since Loveline, and when you're on in the morning and everything. I've enjoyed you all my life.
Well,
I
thanks for
want to say
coming out.
really
I
listening
appreciate
to
it.
you.
And I understand the backhanded compliment of people should have enjoyed me
Yes,
more.
yes.
Right.
But it also suggests people didn't enjoy
I was
me,
kind of,
and I think
like
that's
that
the
hurt
problem.
my feelings. I was offended on your behalf.
He's not good at guys in trades don't articulate themselves well.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've
Like
learned.
he should have said, man, everyone was digging it, but I really was
dug
digging
it.
That's
it.
the
Yes.
way.
That's how you do it.
That's
the way
what
to
he
do it,
should've
You
Jim.
know,
done.
people will come up to you after a show and they'll say crazy shit, and then you go back to your room like, "What the fuck was that? No good." But
Right.
really, they meant to
Yeah.
compliment
No,
you.
they'll go like, I was laughing my ass off, but these fucking guys were talking the whole time
Yeah.
next to me, and
yeah.
you're like,
yeah.
is that?
I don't know what was wrong with them, but I dug it.
You're right,
That one,
right.
oh, that's
It's one
the
of those,
worst.
I don't know why nobody likes you. You seem really nice. I don't get it.
All right, we got some news to do's, so we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and do that right after this. Let me tell you about Turo, innovative. It's the world's largest car sharing marketplace with Turo. You can book any car you want, wherever you want, from a community of local hosts. Browse a huge selection of vehicles for just about any occasion or budget. Book an SUV or a minivan for a family road trip, a pickup truck for some errands, or even test drive an EV. Every trip is backed by liability insurance. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Find your drive. Forget your boring rental cars at Turo, Turo.com. Let me tell you about Angie Homeowners. You know, it's a lot of work to own a home. Whether it's everyday maintenance, repairs, or dream projects, it can be hard to even know where to start. All you need is Angie, your home for everything home. Find a skilled local pro who will deliver quality and experience. Over 20 years of home service experience. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie handles the rest. Look, you're busy. You don't have time to do all this stuff. Let Angie handle it. Take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit online. Visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. ANGI.com. That's Angie. Let them do all the heavy lifting. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and the parts knowledge you need for your maintenance and repairs. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of the car. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right battery for your vehicle. If your check engine light is on, O'Reilly Auto Parts will scan it and retrieve your trouble codes for free. If needed, they'll even refer you to a repair shop. When you're a do-it-yourselfer and need a specialty tool to finish the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and ask about their loaner tool program. Simply pay a refundable deposit and borrow the right tool. Then get your deposit back when it's returned. Ready for some new wiper blades? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help you pick out just what you need for your car and will even install them for you for free. O'Reilly Auto Parts has thousands of quality parts and accessories in stock that you might need to keep your vehicle running at its best. Place your order online at O'Reilly Auto Parts and then pick it up at your local store. You can even have your order shipped directly to your doorstep, giving you the freedom of shopping on your schedule. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. You should know that on a list of famous carpenters that Mike Lynch looked up the other day and that Chris may have, speaking of carpentry, it just Jesus Christ came up first, and I was second.
Really? Oh my gosh!
Yes, a list.
Why is he always beating you out for stuff?
He's got a fucking publicist. That's why.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Basically, Jesus Christ, Adam Carolla, and more.
Oh.
That's it. I think Harrison Ford was a carpenter at one point.
He was, yeah.
Are you a cork floor guy, Adam?
No, not per se, but I don't have an issue
I
with
fucking
it.
love him, man.
I would like to have a little carpentry competition with Mr. Ford.
Ooh.
That's what I would like.
Do you watch Shrinking?
Oh, no. Is that his?
It's great.
Yeah, it's really good.
What's
But
Shrinking?
I don't think his carpentry skills. I mean, he never brings it up anymore. Like you still talk about it. It's still in you. I think it's left him.
He's like 80.
But here's what people don't really get about being a carpenter versus like a woodworker sort of hobbyist, you know?
Right.
The hobbyist is making an Adirondack lounge chair in the garage and doing all that. And I think it's great. I love it. But carpenters know codes, know layout. I know that door is 6'8". I know that it's 36 inches wide. I know that exterior doors are 1 3/4 inches thick. I know 4-inch hinges are what you use on exterior, and interior doors at 1 3/8 need 3.5-inch hinges. I know if you're going to use outdoor patio doors and the hinge knuckles are going to be facing out, you need to go with NRP hinges, non-removable pins. They have a set pin so the prowler can't knock the pins out and pull the doors out. And it just fucking keeps going of what's in my head. And
Your
then there are
move,
other
Han
guys
Solo.
like, my husband's handy. It's like, that's not what this is. It was a business. It's a profession. It's got a bunch of nailing schedules on shear wall and 10 penny ring shank nails and shit, like duplex nails, like everything, form ties. Like it just goes and goes and goes, but it's not handy.
Right.
And I'm not as good a woodworker as a guy who would sit in his garage and like make baseball bats or canoes all weekend. That's not my skill set.
Yeah, you're
my
not
skill set would be
whittling.
building houses.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would challenge Harrison Ford.
I got a guy right now. He is just unreal, man.
You got a good guy?
Oh, my God, dude. Hold on. Check out his Instagram, people. This guy, he redid the...
Brady House?
No, the whole bar in Chateau Marmont.
Wow.
He can do shit. He builds custom furniture for people that is mind-boggling. And I'll tell you what, you got to meet this guy. He's so mellow. He comes in, you're like, this guy's not going to be good. And he just kills it.
Well, I was
man.
on a home improvement show a million years ago, and we had a carpenter named Andrew Dan Jumbo, who was People Magazine's one of their 50 most beautiful people. And he was actually an incredible carpenter and could make a chair in 2 days.
So is Nick Offerman a woodworker or a carpenter?
I think he's a woodworker.
He doesn't know what an NRP is.
Yeah, it's like I did a lot of commercial work, like this whole studio I built out of metal studs, and all that timely doors. Oh, it's all commercial shit. It's like, but that's all boring shit that you hope your kid never has to learn or do because who the fuck wants to go to a decorative box factory in Gardena and do a bunch of commercial work for a living? You know what I mean?
Dean, I don't know if you know this, but Adam also at one point installed custom closets.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's Peter Yoakum, Yochim, and Peter _Yoakum. This guy is a goddamn artist, you know?
Yeah, and I wasn't. I was just build your
like
your
he
house.
can see shit and be like, I can make you this table that would go great here, and it'll be perfect, like for the period piece, what you want. And you just have no idea. And he shows up and you're like, what is that? Is amazing, like crazy shit with custom, like, when they open, like they close like in a diamond formation or whatever shapes he can do.
And I also think woodworkers are the sanest people in the world because they're alone and they're plying their craft and they're doing the opposite of sitting on their fucking phone, rubbing their hands together about the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some news.
Sure.
By the way, everybody thinks they're sexy, like the way architect is a proxy for television job of indeterminate income. Woodworking guy is just that's going to be a sexy guy on your TV show. Yes. Sorry, Chris. I interrupted your news. It's so ironic.
All right, so let's go to Tennessee. So a Tennessee woman paid to hire a hitman to kill the wife of a man she met on a dating site.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Brady Bunch style.
Yeah. So she's accused of transferring about $10,000 in Bitcoin to a site named Online Killers Market.
Yes.
Which should have been a red flag right there. That's a little too easy. So she met this guy on Match.com. They became hiking friends, and then this guy lets her know, like, hey, actually, I'm dating this other girl too. We're gonna move out of state. I'm gonna marry her.
Wow.
So she actually goes to their new home unannounced. And they moved to Alabama, and she sees them both, and she tells them, I hope you both fall off a cliff and die.
Wow.
And then goes to Online Killers Market, pays the money, says, tells the person, she uses the pseudonym Cat Tree, that's her avatar, and she says, I need it to seem random or like an accident. You could plant drugs. I don't want a long investigation.
Fentanyl.
Yeah,
fentanyl's good.
And she's feeding this person info. She's like, oh look, this girl, she's on a fitness app. I know she goes on this 2-mile run every day. And by the way, that she was right. Like investigators, like, oh no, that was actually real information, so it was accurate. But then the killing doesn't happen.
But you said they killed the wife, but it was his girlfriend?
Well, it was the girlfriend. They got married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so she said that we were going to move away and get married.
God, he dodged a bullet, man.
Yeah, and then so the killing doesn't happen. So she goes back and goes, and this is her quote, I have waited for 2 months and 11 days, and the job is not completed. What is the delay? When will it be done? And then, then the FBI gets a hold of it, arrests her, and so she.
How about the insanity of that? Like, once she's out of the way, he's coming back to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I just got to remove her. I'm the only other woman on the planet.
I know you're not on a lifeboat.
Yeah, right? It's like, what?
There's several million to choose from.
It's insane.
Although I would be sort of weirdly flattered if somebody did this to me.
Oh, man.
I do find it flattering.
I just
you love me so much that you're going to have my partner killed.
Yeah.
God, is that her right there?
That's her. That's
she looks like a dude.
I'm still flattered. Still flattered.
I mean, she does look like a dude, right?
I don't know. Her hair's short. Yeah, she's got a little dude to
Parted
her.
down the middle. She looks like the guy that coached the Raiders a little bit, Chucky.
Yeah, it meets Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
She certainly hikes.
How'd the FBI get onto this? Like, was she talking to him the whole time?
That's what they're saying. They're like, I mean, the FBI, they're going to go on the dark web and they're going to make fake sites such as Online Killers Market.
That's hilarious.
That's where she went.
She should have just went rattlesnake. Like went up to the hiking area and just tossed a snake in front of her or something. That's insane.
I don't know if that's wildly effective, but but it would work.
Something.
I mean, you probably have to try it a few times.
Yeah. Practice with the snake?
Person would get suspicious if you were standing there.
Are you with that snake again?
No, not this time. Oh, there we go.
The old snake hike.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you kill somebody these days? Like you can't go. You can't go online.
Like who the fuck thinks they're going to get away with anything these days?
I guess you'd have to push them off a mountain road or something. Like hire a guy drove a truck and just like if there were anywhere that whatever it could just. I mean, you ever drive along like a mountain road or something and you like look down and you go, if this car goes there, I'm definitely dead.
Fear of mine,
I mean, there are plenty of canyons around here. You'd have to. I think what you'd have to do is you'd have to go. You have to get somebody to go, like they live in Canoga Park, and they'd go, meet me down at Malibu. We'll go to the restaurant. Then you know they're coming through the canyon or something, and then hire a couple of guys, kind of Fast and Furious style, but driving big trucks to just do it. There's no Ring doorbell camera.
Right.
You're saying you're blaming her, car goes off the side of the whatever. Yeah,
You're talking about a Silkwood situation.
Is that a Silkwood situation?
Yeah, like Karen Silkwood she just kind of was run off the road and no one really understands what happened.
No.
Well,
perfect murder.
They used to do the cut the brake lines like in all the 70s movies, but I don't feel like that's effective because I know something about cars. When you cut the brake line,
the brakes don't work.
The first
right
time
away.
you touch the pedal, it just goes all the way down. Like when
you feel it right
you're
away.
backing out of the driveway and you can't stop, you roll into the neighbor's car. But you're not. It's not like the brake works fine until you get to the mountain road, and now they're pumping it. Like what happened to the brakes?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work.
Total cartoon.
I think you strip the brake line just thin enough to where you can back out and drive for a little bit, and then when you use a brake,
poke holes in small holes where the fluid's coming out.
Yeah, make it gradual.
Yeah. I'm still going to go with my Fast and Furious mountain road.
Absolutely.
It's going to just ram them off the road.
Chris, you're doing a very nice job with the news.
That means a lot coming from you. I'm actually kind of nervous doing it for you, Teresa.
All right. Keep it
so
going.
speaking of murders, so there's a serial killer believed to be in Portland right now. So there are bodies of women found all within 100 miles of each other in the Portland area, like 6 bodies. All like young women who either live around Portland or visit Portland frequently. The only report of one of the deaths that says how she died was a blunt trauma to the head and neck. All the other ones aren't reported yet. So everyone's social media is like, okay, this is definitely a serial killer situation. So cops have been investigating it. Just today they said we have no reason to believe these 6 cases are connected. It's just weird.
Yeah. But that's going on in Austin, too, right now.
It is?
Yeah, there's one in Austin. And they also say there's one out in Joshua Tree.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By the way, all these bodies all found in the woods.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Portland's turned into a shit show.
It's crazy,
I mean,
right?
homeless people everywhere.
What's the bigger decline?
Everywhere.
Portland or the Bay Area?
Portland. Oh, San Francisco.
I was just home
Yes.
to go to the retirement of my 6th grade teacher, who I loved, Mr. Biscar. And yeah, it was strange where there were neighbors. I'm from there, and I like really was feral, so I just took the public bus everywhere.
Oh, man.
And I wasn't scared of anything because I did kind of grow up on the streets of San Francisco.
Eat tacos off the floor. Sure.
Eating tacos off the floor.
Yeah.
There was definitely blocks where I thought, I don't want to be here by myself. I'm scared.
I was walking down Market Street by the Warfield. You know, I decided
That's one of those places.
Burrito diving.
I was going burrito diving. But I was doing the punchline, and I go, you know what? I'm going to walk up to Hayes Valley, just do an old school SF walk. So I turn on to Market Street. I pass the Warfield, and I see about a group of 20, 30 people, right? And I go, oh, there must be a band playing there or something. Nope. They're all just smoking fentanyl and crack out in the open.
Yeah.
And they had 2 guys in yellow suits with the narco in case any of them OD'd. I go, what the fuck?
yeah.
I go, what is this going on here, man? They go, we just leave them here, and then we know where they're at. I'm like, this is insane.
I was saying to Dr. Drew the other day when I was driving into San Diego, like, San Francisco and Portland, and to some degree, like Los Angeles, that is an example of when you go full blue, when you have a Democratic supermajority, when everyone agrees and everyone's on the same side of the aisle, politically, that's what you get. And then other places, you have a sort of a yin and a yang. You have people going, we should give out, syringes to everyone. They have another one going, we should give them Bibles, you know what I mean? But you end up in a sort of a balancing act, a sort of a back and a forth, a kind of yin and a yang that keeps it sort of normal. Like, I just want to say to everybody, Portland, San Francisco, when you get your way, Democrats, this is what you get. This is all of what you want. This is in a fucking nutshell. People shooting up, shitting on the street. This is all when you're unobstructed, when you got a fucking free run to the end zone and nobody's out there arguing with you or arguing about, like, when you can just do whatever you want, completely unfettered, this is what you get. So we should rethink some of these policies. Well, everyone else is the other places are like, well, there's places all over the place where it's like, well, we got some of this, then we got some of that, and then you end up with a weird balance, and it sort of has a way of working its way out. San Francisco and Portland are just like, what if everybody in the city council and the mayor and the governor, like, what if we were all on the same page, all politically lined up, and you go, we have a shit show is what you have. And it's like, all right, you should then stop and go, maybe some of our policies aren't great if this is what we end up with when we're left alone. Just unfettered, make every policy. No one's going to argue with any policy because there's nobody on the other side of the aisle to put up a fight. And then you end up with a shit show. You should then go, we should now discuss, even if they're not fighting us on the other side of the aisle because they don't exist, let's talk about some of our own policies that have turned this once glorious place into a shit show.
Well, speaking of shit shows, I did see a guy defecating. And Adam, what is it about that feels like this is the lowest thing? Like, this is the lowest a person can go. Like, there's just something about looking out the window, driving through, and just seeing somebody just pooping on the curb.
That is bottom of the barrel.
I was in Central. Yeah, it's like it's symbolic as well as practical. Yes. I was walking through Central Park and I was thinking, thank God horses don't eat meat. No. Because they live off hay, like stuff that's like totally innocuous, that's nothing to it.
Just blends into that fucking
still
grass. manage to
drop some pretty big loads out there. But if they were meat eaters and you stepped in horse shit, and that horse shit just ate, like, I ate a bunch of pork. You'd be fucked.
One of Dean's burritos.
Indian food from the Hamptons got me out here.
Like horse shit is so non-whatever that they don't even, on the horse trail by my house, those bitches don't pick it up. No. If your horses ate Spam and bacon and shit, you'd have to pick it up.
Absolutely.
That would be a disaster.
The cop climbs down, picks it up. He's got like a giant garbage bag.
Yes.
Just fucking over his shoulder.
It's not one of
Anyway.
those cute little plastic bags.
So
Or
I don't know
dirty.
what is like. So what does San Francisco do? Do they go like, well, we were wrong about everything. Now let's see if we can put it back, or do they keep blaming like white supremacy, or like what? Who are we blaming this on? Like everyone is a Democrat. So who are we blaming this on?
sure
And
you-
then what's the plan?
Kanye.
Kanye.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys have like friends and family that still live there. What are they saying? Like the people who live there.
Well, you know, you got the worst part about it is you have the most money in the United States from all the tech industry.
Right.
And then, you know, they just step over people to get to the sushi bar or whatever.
Yeah,
They're
I
like,
think
"Oh."
my high school, like Wilmerding, where I did have a scholarship, but I think the tuition is like somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000.
Wow,
It's crazy.
for high school.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's more difficult to get in than getting into Harvard.
Do we have? Speaking of that, now we have our own mayor, Karen Bass. Do we have her income gap?
Yeah,
clip?
so this is her speaking at the most recent Democratic convention in
All right.
LA.
What it is, the reason I'm bringing this up is LA's turning in this way too. Like LA is essentially drug addicted, homeless people living on the street or in a Winnebago dealing drugs, like literally street urchin, like kind of medieval times. And then it's like, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce got a $200 million place in Malibu. Like, it's the chasm is fucking insane. But everyone who's sleeping on the street is a drug addict. It's not because of Beyonce and Jay-Z. They're addicted to drugs. That's why they're sleeping on the street. But And as I yelled at Gavin Newsom on this show 10 years ago when he couldn't identify what the homeless problem was, I said it was people with mental problems and drug addicts. And he's like, what about the mother of three? The true face of homelessness.
Yeah, right.
Mother of three, lost her job, divorced, or had a full-time job, but got minimum wage. He's a fucking retarded
That's the face
person.
of homelessness,
Karen
yeah.
Bass, we've elected, and she's going to clean up homelessness, but she doesn't know why there's homeless. So how would one solve a problem that one cannot identify what is causing the problem? But here's our mayor.
But while you're in the center of this activity, if you do drive around, if you walk around this city, then you see the crisis that our city is facing, which is the crisis that many of your cities are facing, and that is the fact that income inequality has become so wide that it has led to tens of thousands of Angelenos and Californians who cannot afford to live inside.
Yeah. She's fucking nuts.
Some of those
we
could be-
elect insane people. They can't afford to live inside. I have a fucking nanny named Olga. There's a huge income disparity between what I make and what she makes. But she gets to live inside.
Yeah.
There's a chasm. Jay-Z and Beyonce have people who mow their lawn.
I know some of those homeless people could be architects.
Yes, they
There's a
could.
big chasm, but you doesn't mean you live outdoors.
No.
Oh, she's fucking, what the fuck is wrong? And by the way, what is wrong with just going, they're drug addicts. We got to fix it. Like, why can't you, why is it, here's what I'm saying, whether it's Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom. Why is you misidentifying who these people are? Why does that help you? Why not just go, there's a bunch of fucking drug addicts and people are suffering mentally. We're going to have to get up there and we're going to have to get them some help. Like, why
Well,
are
it's important to understand what affliction you're treating. You know, there's a lot of veterans that have PTSD, that have issues. There's, like you said, there's drug addiction.
Nobody is outside sleeping on the street because of the wealth gap.
Yeah.
They're all drug addicts and or they have serious mental. I want to hear that one more time. Just so now this person we elected is going to fix the problem in Los Angeles, except for she doesn't know what the problem is, although I do always just go stupid or liar. Like, you could get her backstage and go, you know what the fucking problem is? And she goes, yeah, fucking junkies. And I go, yeah, but why are you saying?
Hook them up to lie detectors when they.
And if you're in the crowd, now I get it, they're all on the same page, but is this unifying for you? Like, if you had a bunch of people who are on your side of the aisle just saying shit that was patently wrong, would you just be like, yeah, that's a good thing? Or would you go like, Maybe
it's like famous people with their yes people around. What do you think of this song? It's great.
Right.
And then later on, they're like, God, this shit is
Kanye,
awful.
keep sharing your opinions about the Jews.
Right.
People will be very interested in it.
All right, one more time, just because it's apparently insane.
But while you're in the center of this activity, if you do drive around, if you walk around this city, then you see the crisis that our city is facing, which is the crisis that many of your cities are facing, and that is the fact that income inequality has become so wide that it has led to tens of thousands of Angelenos and Californians who cannot afford to live inside.
Inside.
I wonder who wrote that speech. You know,
a
like
fucking retarded person.
Like a team. They're like, this will just. You know.
Here's all I want to know. Hey, listen, does everyone want to be an expert on homelessness? I grew up with some of the most fucked up, poorest people on the planet. I do not know a person that lived outdoors unless they were severely addicted to something. There was always somewhere to go. I do not know a human being. Does anyone know a human being short of severe mental illness and drug addiction who could not live indoors because they just didn't make enough money? They just didn't. Does anyone know that person? All right. Does anyone know a child who died of COVID? Does anyone know anyone under 30 who died of COVID? If the answer is no, then you have all the answers you need. You can listen to witches and their fucking graphs. You can listen to all these fucking pontificators. If you don't know anybody, and between everyone in this building, there's thousands of people we went to high school with, we know. If you don't know anyone, then that's not the problem. And if you don't know anyone under 19 who died of COVID, then no one under 19 died of COVID, which is the answer. So you'll know everything, everyone. You don't have to fucking check a graph or chart or listen to someone who has some agenda, some bizarre agenda about what they want you to think. So I get it. Income inequality. How does that explain living outdoors?
Yeah.
And by the way, in this economy, first you go down the street to the Home Depot, ask one of the illegals standing in the parking lot, hey, jump in the car, come to my house, spread a little stucco. It's like $250. They're like, how about $150? Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, that's the economy we're in.
Yeah. Do you think she was playing to the audience? And because this is a Democratic convention, like, would she say this in a debate?
No, she wouldn't. She's playing to the audience.
Yeah.
So the thing that disturbs me a little bit is we're using the term Californian and Angelino a little too loosely, because I'll tell you that 9 out of 10 of the people on the street didn't grow up here.
Oh, they're coming here.
They came from another state because it's nice outside and you can get all the drugs you want.
Right. All right. I have no idea how anyone would solve a problem if they misidentify the problem. That's all. Ugh.
Yeah, it seems like the first step, right?
Tired of everybody.
Yeah, it's like the show House. You got to diagnose. What's wrong.
Speaking of houses, if I went to someone's house and their door was dragging, the front door drags, you got to lift it up, you got to turn the deadbolt. The deadbolt's not catching, got to pull it up. I'd go, got some demons, got some bad fairies in this house. Like, how would I fix the door talking about gremlins and fairies and demons? Like, it's the top hinge. I'm going to tighten up the screws in the top hinge because the thing's probably sagging a little.
Make an adjustment.
I'm going to go down to the bottom hinge. I'm going to fur it out a little bit and see if we can't get your door pushed back toward the right direction. All right.
Chris, is he going for one more?
Let's go. Okay.
All right, one more.
Let's go international. Let's go to Ireland. So there's a report for a proposal by Ireland's government. They want to slaughter about 200,000 cows in order to meet the European Union's climate change goals.
What could go wrong?
So the farmers, of course, they're upset. Like, this is our living. You want to slaughter all of our cows? So they are requiring compensation for the losses, and they all agreed to a suggested figure of 600 million euros. That would be sufficient to do this.
They're going to eat the cows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, exactly, or bring them over from the Hamptons or something.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk, he actually tweeted over the weekend, this really needs to stop. Killing some cows doesn't matter for climate change.
Listen, has anyone looked into like climate change lately? Yeah. It's fucking weird. I mean, all the predictions from the last 50 years, everyone is fucking wrong about everything all the time. And now since COVID, I now think everything's a scam. Like you just have to buy carbon units and shit like that. All the people that are preaching are either flying private or buying another place in Malibu at the shore. You know, it's like I don't fucking trust anybody anymore with anything. And I've lived through the first climate. That was my mom talking about ecology in the 1970s. None of her predictions came true. Zero. Then there was a new set of predictions in the 80s. None of those came true. Then there was another one in the 90s. None of it came true. If they don't, okay. If China and India don't get their shit together climate-wise, then we can't control it from the fucking Irwan in Santa Monica, you fucking retards. We can't control, we think we control the globe, and we do it with fashion, and we do it with movies and entertainment and sports, but we don't do it with climate. It's called global warming, and if China's going to open a new coal-fired power plant every 20 minutes, then no. We can't fix them.
Yeah, if you walk around China and you got the black smoke just instantly on your lungs, they're not going to stop.
They're not stopping. Developing nations aren't going to do what we want them to do. So European Union and California and Santa Monica, good luck.
It's like the smoking section in a restaurant, you know? The smoke didn't stay in the section.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Like when it was on the plane back in the olden days.
Like, that guy's smoking. Yeah, he's 2 seats back. What's your problem?
I'm in my section. That's
Even
what
worse.
China's saying. They're like, we're in our section.
We were on the first Carolla cruise on the Carnival cruise, and they had a piece of tape that went across a bar. And on one side of this piece of tape, you could smoke a cigarette. On the other side, nope.
Dawson, can I just say, I'm so happy to see you.
It's great to see you, too.
I remember when you were auditioning for the Adam Carolla show on KLSX, and we met in the parking garage.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm just filling in for somebody for 2 days. I'm very nervous.
Oh.
I hope it goes well.
We were a small support group back in those days.
I have too.
All right, let me give some plugs. Dean Delray, everybody, the podcast, Let There Be Talk, everywhere you find podcasts. And
Number 700 today.
Number 700.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
Milestone.
also live shows everywhere. Santa Rosa coming up, Alameda coming up. Should we go to your website? Should we go to your Instagram?
Instagram, Dean Delray. That's really where I get the most traction. And then arena tour all year with Bill Burr on and off out
Bill.
there.
Bill.
Bill.
I know Bill.
That sounds
Bill.
awesome.
Say Bill.
All right.
Don't
also,
forget about the book.
Your book, Making It Home, Life Lessons from a Season of Little League. Wherever you get finer books, that's
Yes.
Teresa Strasser.
Or audiobooks, too.
Or audiobooks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you
okay.
do the audio?
I did.
Oh.
All right. So, James Earl Jones actually did. Dean Delray, Teresa Strasser, Adam Carolla, Chris Max Bass saying mahalo.